Hello, my name is Kim and welcome to your April 2026 reading, where we are going to find out what it is that you can expect and or look forward to this month of April. So to start off each reading, I will be sharing with you what I intuitively picked up on. I will also be addressing the card that you were drawn to or that you selected. And then I will move on to the first set of cards, which will give us an overview of the month and a look at the main themes and lessons of April. Then I will work with oracle cards to find out two things. First, what is something to look out for this month? And second, what is something to look forward to? And at the end of your reading, I will draw out extra oracle cards just to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance that hopefully will be of use or assistance to you throughout this month of April. Okay? So with that being said, let us now take a closer look at the options. So there are three different groups to choose from, and I will explain in just a minute why one of the groups has two cards instead of one. But starting off with group one, we have manifestation and the death card. So the reason why I decided to combine the death card with the manifestation card is because of how the death card fell out. If you rewind the video, you will note that this death card fell right on top of the manifestation card, sort of as if it wanted to be here, representing group one instead of group three, which was what I was aiming for when shuffling the deck. So I chose to honor that and kept it as it fell out, which is on group one. And then for group two, we have the card Seasons. And lastly, for group three, we have the card Hope. Okay, so please take a moment to meditate on the options, and whichever card you are drawn to the most, then that will be the group that has the messages and a reading meant for you. And once you have selected, please head on over to either the description box or the pinned comment in the comment section down below to find the timestamps that will allow for you to skip ahead to your selected group. Okay, and if you are ready, then let us get started. Let's go. Hello, if you were drawn to group one, the manifestation and death card duo, bienvenidos to your reading. So when meditating on the energy of this group, the word wishbone came to mind. And seeing that you were drawn to the manifestation card, it seems that this month of April, a wish or dream of yours is coming true around the same time that the wish or dream of another who you are close to or familiar with is coming true as well. If you happen to have a shared goal or dream with another, then it is this shared dream, maybe goal, that will be made reality this month of April. Or what else I'm seeing is that you and a loved one, you and a friend, you and a colleague perhaps will be achieving some kind of milestone or breakthrough this month of April. In my mind's eye, I keep seeing children breaking or splitting a wishing bone. So a childhood dream of yours could be coming true. And if, for example, when you were a kid, you and a friend shared your dreams with each other, like what you wanted to see come true in the future, then these dreams that you shared or wishes are the very things that are coming true this month of April. Now, because we do have the death card here, which indicates endings and transformation, at the time that something manifests for you, something will be ending as well or falling away. For some of you, it could be that for something to manifest, something else needs to come to an end or needs to fall away, right? It's like one thing can't happen without the other. What I'm also seeing is It is the transformation of something that will give way to your manifestation, right? So maybe for a while you have been holding and warming up an egg, right? This egg is holding within your manifestation. And this month, this egg is hatching. But as it hatches, the egg falls away. The egg is no more. It ceases to be giving birth to the manifestation. Another example that came to mind is the ugly duckling turning into a beautiful swan. Yes, there's something here about one version ceases to be to give way to another version. Interesting. So this month is about transformations and evolution, but it's also a month of new beginnings that come via endings. Okay, but let me now move on to the first set of cards. By the ways, bunnies, hares could be of significance. The year of the rabbit could be of significance. If your dream, if your wish has been for something to come to an end, or for something to transform, to evolve, then this is the dream that is coming true for you this month. This is exactly what is happening this month of April. Okay, so we have the first house with Sun and Aries and the key term assertion. Ooh, dragons. The year of the dragon could be of significance. The illustration in the assertion card made me think of the legends of King Arthur, Camelot. So the mythology around that could be of significance. Ooh, Aries season, which begins around March 19th, 20th, and ends around April 19th, could be of significance. Could be when something will come to an end or something will transform. Seeing that we have the key term assertion here, it could be you who is saying no to something or someone. And you saying no is what will instigate an ending or be some kind of catalyst for transformation, or will be some kind of definitive action that will mark the ending of something, like will mark the ending and the beginning. Like this is the line, this no is the line, and now what's on this side of the line is the before, and what's on the other side of this line is the after. And the after is the new beginning. And I mentioned new beginning because we do also have the number 1 here, which indicates new beginnings. It's also a card that can indicate assertion and leadership. So you are deciding upon something this month. You are making some kind of final decision. You are maybe taking some kind of initiative, but there is this feeling of you affirming something, you being decisive, you making a choice and not looking back, but instead looking forward. I also see you standing up for yourself, maybe asserting your boundaries. And not only with others, but also with yourself. Maybe with your inner demons, right? With your insecurities. With your inner critic, even. If your inner critic tends to behave like a bully sometimes. Okay, so 2 cards fall out. We have jealousy with controlling, heated, unfulfilled. The message 72. Everybody is jealous. What keeps jealousy less magnified is when you are truly confident and fulfilled in all aspects of life. This leaves no room for other energies to affect you. Understand jealousy as a normal feeling, and you or someone around you is on the right track to slowly building confidence and fulfillment. Just be patient with the process. And we also have extroverted with animated, the number 48, and the message, an energy of excitement, chatter, socializing may come your way. It is needed. Spend time out. Okay, so the very first thing that came to mind is if during this month or at some point in April, you find out that someone has accomplished something, right? Someone has achieved a goal of theirs or has reached a milestone or has acquired something that you yourself have always wanted. The advice for you is to not get jealous. I mean, if you do, that's totally fine. Jealousy is a human emotion. There's no point in villainizing this emotion because I believe we all experience it at some point to some degree. But all you're being advised is that if you do end up feeling a little jealous or envious, to not let these feelings or emotions cloud your judgment or distract you from whatever is going on in your life, or just living your truth, living your best life, or feeling good, right? Feeling happy for another. Because letting feelings such as jealousy or envy run the show is going to feel like maybe a bit of a waste when you end up celebrating your own achievements, because you will, right? I mentioned at the start of your reading that you and another will be manifesting something this month or will experience a dream come true, right? So you're being let known, don't get too ahead of yourself, right? Assuming that other people always get what you want and you don't. If that ends up being the case, right? If your mind often tends to think in that direction, because you will also experience something wonderful of your own. You will also get your precious gemstone, your blessing, right? So the advice for you guys this month is to, if you can, rejoice in other people's happiness and achievements. And if you feel a little bit jealous or envious, that is okay, right? But don't let that run the show. And don't let that rain on your own parade, right? Maybe this dragon is the personification of, emotions such as jealousy or envy. And that's what you might be trying to tame this month. But again, it seems like the advice for you guys is don't feel too bad about the situation, because you will also be popping a champagne pretty soon, celebrating an achievement of yours very, very soon. And so because I spoke of all of this, this lets me know that it's very likely that you will hear good news coming from others before you yourself deliver your own good news. On the other side of the coin, what I'm seeing being a possibility as well is that because I do sense that this month you will be sharing good news, you will be maybe achieving a goal or celebrating a milestone, or things will be working out for you. Something will be working spectacularly, is that how you pronounce it, for you. It could be others who might end up experiencing a little bit of jealousy. They might be looking at you with a little bit of envy, right? Especially if this is something that is going to be shared or others will be able to see. And because we do have this energy of assertion and extroverted, I feel like this month you will be glowing, right? I did give the example of, the ugly duckling turning into a swan. I know that's a very cliche story, but it does make me think of a glow up. So you could be going through a bit of a glow up or just glowing this month. And when I think of glow ups, I think of them in the sense of, someone just got a boost of confidence. Someone is feeling themselves and they're strutting their stuff and they're looking good because they are feeling good inside. And so that could be the case for you guys this month. And that could be sparking a little bit of envy and or jealousy in others who might not be feeling so great themselves, or who might still be finding their inner confidence. But what I'm seeing here with this knight fighting off this dragon is that this month, you're not letting other people's projections affect you, right? You're seeing them for what they are. And so you're not letting them cross the line over and into your space. You're protecting yourself this month. As mentioned before, you are asserting your boundaries. And so you're only allowing into your space, into maybe your energy field, your private space, your inner circle, that which either is of your highest good, or that which you feel comes from a good space, or that which, as they say, passes the vibe check. And this could be very literal, as in you maybe at some point this month are being very selective as to who you hang out with, who you confide in or spend quality time with, right? Maybe who you literally invite into your home, into your private space, or share any updates with, share a little bit about your personal life, or share exciting news with. But I also see this being in a more, how could I refer to this as? Emotional, mental way, right? Where maybe you're still out and about, you're still hanging out with the same crowd, but what you're kind of batting away is, as mentioned, projections, anything that is thrown your way, like bad attitude, or, as they say, the evil eye, you're spotting it and just batting it away. Like, I noticed you throwing that petty comment my way, but I'm not taking it, right? I'm sending it back, just batting it out of the field. Bye-bye. And so that could be how you are approaching this month. Like, yeah, I see you, your jealous little dragon peeking out, but I'm not going to entertain it. So you can deal with that, right? You can take a 5-minute break and cool off. And once that dragon has been tamed, then we can interact once more. But meanwhile, I'm not going to engage. Okay? So very mindful, very, how do they say, very demure as well. We also have number 18 with barking up the wrong tree, dead end, stalemate, not now, lack of clarity, perspective, and shift needed. Yeah, I feel like this is how you will be responding to those who, start, like, in a way, barking, start saying nonsense, or try to get a reaction out of you. It's like, sorry, dude, you're barking up the wrong tree. It's not gonna work on me. I see where you're coming from, and I'm not interested. You're not going to get a reaction out of me. I'm like way above that. So yeah, I see you staying above, above the pettiness and the drama and so forth. Yeah, so with dead end, it makes me think of something being cut short, like or drama being cut short, because you're not feeding into it, or someone here is not feeding into it. Yeah, so someone might need a bit of a perspective shift, because their current perspective, or their perspective at this time, is clouding their judgment, or having them behave a little bit silly, a little bit petty, right? It's making me think of children who are throwing a tantrum, or like puppies. Puppies also throw tantrums, right? Because their brother or their sister got the toy first before them. And it's like, whoa, calm down. You're also going to get a toy. The order of it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, you're going to get to play as well. Right? So, yeah, someone could be just throwing a bit of a tantrum this month. And depending on who is throwing this tantrum and what kind of tantrum they're throwing, it could just be something mild, something maybe even a bit endearing or innocent, right? It doesn't have to be this, feeling jealousy, feeling envy doesn't have to end in something malicious, right? It could just be something that we're feeling in the moment that could just help to give insight as to, what matters to us, what is it that we're longing for, what we're craving, what we're needing, what we're maybe feeling like we're lacking, and so forth. So, yeah, I feel like it will depend, but yeah, this could definitely be a situation where maybe someone just needs to cool off or just needs for something to be put in perspective so that then they could see like, oh, okay, well, this is a bit silly, or I don't really need to be behaving this way or feeding into these emotions. I can just feel this right now and just let it pass and not wallow in it. Yeah, so with stalemate, that could definitely end up being the case for some where maybe there is going to be some friction between you and another, and it's gonna take maybe the rest of the month for this friction to dissipate, or for you or this other person to cool off, right? To feel through whatever it is that they need to feel through to come back to center and be a little bit more like themselves. Because right now I feel like, or just in this situation, in this example, it's the inner dragon, the jealous dragon, or a little bit of inferiority complexes or insecurities that are getting in the way, or that are causing a scene or causing the friction. So yeah, with stalemate, I'm not seeing anything reaching any kind of extremes, or like things getting really heated, but instead I see a halting, right? Like, whoa, let's give pause to this and then come back to each other at a later time when we are both a bit more level-headed, grounded, and feeling a little bit more like ourselves. Yeah, and there could be something which you and another might not agree upon this month. Yeah, with stalemate here, this could be a situation where you do end up having an argument or a disagreement, more like with another, and instead of arguing forever, trying to up one the other, or trying to convince the other that the other is right, you reach a stalemate. You both agree that it's okay to disagree, right? And that's fine, and that's okay. Right. So with dead end, I also see that this month, because we do have this energy of assertion, and with the number 1, which indicates a leadership, you might find that if you're working with others, or if you end up partnering up with someone on a project, there could be, I'm thinking of the Hanged Man, there could be some suspension, like a bit of a hold up, because you and this person that you are partnering up with, or whoever you are working with, might end up bumping heads, and your ideas of what is right or what is best might be very different, or they could be similar, but I am seeing a little bit of maybe pride or ego getting in the way here, or getting in the way of someone being agreeable. And so even though there are opportunities to agree on something and to work amiably and to collaborate, that might not end up happening because, one or more people are wanting to get their way. Like, one or more people are wanting to be the leaders. But in a situation where there could only be one person leading at a time. And so because of this, things might not get done, right? Or something might be postponed or suspended, simply because 2 or more people cannot agree on what to do next, cannot agree on what is the best course of action, right? And because they cannot agree, there is a mutual agreement, a decision cannot be made, something cannot move forward. So Yeah, I know these kind of messages are difficult because when it involves other people, we can do our best to work with others, but if others don't want to work with us or don't want to be like flexible or amiable, then there's not much we can do when it comes to how other people respond and act, since we cannot act and respond for them. So the advice for you guys this month is simply to do your part, right? Do what you will feel the most proud of at the end of the day or at the end of it all. And not let feelings such as jealousy or envy cloud your judgment, as mentioned before, or and let pride or ego get in the way of maybe solving problems or working with others. But we also have full moon with releasing, reflecting, recharging, and letting go. Right, so the full moon is reminding me of the death card. So keep in mind this April's full moon, because around that time you might be literally releasing and or letting go of something that no longer serves you. You could be releasing or letting go of grudges. I heard petty arguments or resentments, feelings, emotions that, again, do not serve you because they're not leading anywhere or they're not leading anywhere good. Maybe they're just holding you back or they're clouding your judgment, as mentioned before. Yeah, or you're being let know that this month is a perfect time to release, to let go of any resentments, any grudges, or old feelings, is what I heard. Old, musty feelings. With the number one here, Sun and Aries, I feel like this month you're being advised to let go of any jealousy that you have been holding on to, if that is the case, right? Because what you're being let know this month is that there's no need for this jealousy. Or if you are someone who tends to compare yourself to others, if you are someone who tends to compare your journey to that of others, like maybe your career, your profession, your successes, milestones to that of others. This is the month in which you're being advised to get out of that habit, because instead of it fueling you, all it has been resulting is in you expending a lot of energy fighting ghosts, fighting battles that aren't even real. What is coming to mind is pretend conversations. I don't know if you've ever done that. I've done that a couple of times. I tend to do that actually, and I can attest that is a waste of time, or I feel like it ends up being a waste of time, because I do end up getting distracted by it, which is, coming up with these fake scenarios in my head where I'm battling out with someone of the past who I would have loved to stood up to, right? Sometimes it doesn't even have to do with the past. Sometimes I think of possible scenarios like, oh, if this person were to say this and that, this is how I would respond. And then all of a sudden, I'm distracted and all riled up by this fake argument that I made up that has never happened and possibly won't even happen. So if that resonates with you, if that's something that you tend to do, that you're being advised this month to just not fall into, right? Because I do see the possibility of you falling back into those tendencies, or kind of engaging in that kind of, let's call it daydreaming. And you're being let known you don't have to, and it's not necessary. And in actuality, all of that doesn't lead anywhere, and it only expends your energy and misdirects it and leaves you feeling all wound up and possibly even fatigued by the end of it all, right? So direct your energy into something a lot more productive, something that does uplift you and boost your confidence, but that also offers you something tangible, something that you can work with in the here and now, something that you can build upon, and that you will be so happy to build upon it because it will be something real. something real and beautiful and helpful, right? So because the full moon can bring up to the surface hidden or old emotions and feelings, this month you could end up recalling, things of the past, like fights, disagreements with people, arguments, things that people once said that didn't sit right with you, and so forth. You could find yourself reminiscing of the time that you would have loved to say that witty comeback to them, or would have loved to approach that situation in so and so way. Now I lost my train of thought. But yeah, there could be a lot of flashbacks, and there could be a lot of, oh man, if I had only said that, or oh, I would love to be given another chance to stand up for myself, or something along those lines. And it could be because you are releasing. Maybe this is just an indicator that there were some still like pent up feelings that you were harboring, that were maybe getting in the way of you fully feeling at ease, at peace, and because it seems like you are stepping into something new now. This month of April, all these things are coming up, so you can't let go of them. But there is something here I want to point out, which is you do have to choose to let go of them, right? You have to kind of make amends or make peace, because there is something here about you having a choice. Because if you instead choose to continue harboring these feelings, you will swallow them back down, right? You will continue harboring them. So the point this month of all of this coming up, of experiencing all of this, is so that then you can choose to let go of this, so that then you can choose to maybe shift your perspective on a situation. Decide that, hey, this isn't worth entertaining any longer. Like, maybe this is a waste of time, or that doesn't deserve of my energy anymore, so whatever, let go of it. I've moved on from it. I have outgrown it. So that's something that you can decide this month. But of course, it's also not helpful to force things and to pretend that we have moved on from something, or we have outgrown something, when we really haven't. So if it is the case that you're still feeling very strongly about something that happened in the past, or you are still feeling very strongly about something, then it's also important to acknowledge that, right? And maybe acknowledge that you're not ready to let go of this yet. You're not ready to address this yet. You want to feel it a little longer. That's totally fine as well. The important thing always is to be completely and utterly honest with yourself, because I feel like one of the most painful things that we can do is lie to ourselves. So being honest with yourself creates trust with self. And that's something important if you want to build a healthy relationship with yourself. So let me pull out another card. So yeah, we have the Two of Cups, number 19, the gentleman. And I said yeah because I was talking about building a healthy relationship with yourself that is founded on trust. And the Two of Cups, or the Two of Hearts, which reminds me of the Two of Cups, speaks of partnerships and relationships, which made me think of like your relationship with yourself, with your inner being. But yeah, I feel like this month, the themes are relationships with others, but also relationship with yourself, and how you see yourself, or how you show up in your relationships, right? In your connections with others, how you connect with others. Yeah, there could also be a focus on your communication, how you communicate with others, and how you respond to other people's communication. I'm sensing something about reactivity. This month, you could notice whether or not you are reactive, maybe emotionally reactive. Yeah, so there could be a bit of mindfulness and self-awareness that you are experiencing this month, where, if you do end up being reactive, you're noticing that on the spot, like, whoa, wait, this is reactivity. Like, I'm not responding right now, I'm being reactive. Do I want to continue or do I want to pause and redirect? So I'm seeing choices. This is a month in which you can become very aware of how you are showing up and of the fact that you do have choices, that you do have a choice as to how you show up and how you respond to others. I just heard in my mind someone going like, I don't want to deal with that. I heard, I don't want to be walking around eggshells. Interesting. Interesting because at least so far, this energy here doesn't feel like that of someone who's walking around eggshells, but rather it feels more like that of someone who is simply becoming a little bit more observant of their reactions. With the Two of Hearts here, this is the month in which you will notice what's the expression? Who gets a reaction out of you? Like who maybe riles you up, who ruffles your feathers and pushes your buttons, if there is anyone, right? Or what kind of behavior? What kind of behavior pushes your buttons? Right? Because the example that is coming to mind is someone who at the end of a workday is feeling high strung, like they're feeling irritable, they're a bit pissy or feeling prickly, but they just don't know why. They can't pinpoint what set them off during the workday, right? And because they're not quite sure, they can't pinpoint something in specific, they start associating their feelings to different things. Like, oh, it was because I had to work on this today, or I had to turn in this today and I didn't want to, or it was because I didn't drink coffee this morning, or it was because so and so didn't smile at me today, or they spoke to me in a certain tone, and I feel like that's what rubbed me the wrong way, right? So they're never quite clear, and it could be all these things, but maybe in reality it was just one or two things that got this person all fired up, right? And so this is the month in which they're getting clear about that. Like, oh, this is the thing that gets me all fired up. This is that's the word I'm looking for. This is the thing that triggers me. Like, this is the trigger. Like, and now that I know that this is the trigger, then I can start maybe addressing it. I can start looking into, why does this trigger me? Like, why does this affect me so much? Why does this get such a strong reaction out of me? Or maybe for some of you, you can start looking into, why is it that I don't get along with this person? Like, now that I've kind of observed the situation, observed myself, I realize that it's this person. Every time I talk with this person, every time I come out of an interaction with them, that's when I realize my mood has shifted. That's when I realize that I'm feeling a bit angrier, a little bit more agitated, or on the defensive. And if I look into this further, I realize that it's because this person does cross some boundaries of mine, or this person lacks boundaries themselves, and that's a big no-no, right? So there's a lot of awareness here in gaining clarity about, again, what your triggers are, what ruffles your feathers, and possibly who you are clashing with, like who you are not meeting eye to eye with, and why that is. Because I am also, what just came to mind was power struggle dynamic, right? So there could be one or more people in maybe your workspace, at school, in your friend group, who you often kind of battle it out to see who is in control, who is the leader, who has the most power, and so forth. Right? And so if there is a power struggle dynamic with another, the reason why that might be is because both of you are very strong characters. Both of you are leaders. Maybe both of you are life paths number 1, life path 11. I'm also getting life path 7. You are of a character that doesn't like to follow or be told what to do. Maybe one of you is a leader and the other one is a pioneer. A leader and a pioneer, they're not used to being given commands. They're used to either giving commands or just doing as they want to do, right? Leading themselves. So yeah, you could be working with or just butting heads with someone who is used to being at the head of something, who is used to getting their way, or just maybe being on their own, right? Not working in a team, not working under somebody else. You could be meeting or working with someone who has the same sun sign as you, right? And because you have like similar energies, you're clashing. But I feel like, yeah, if you two manage to work it out, or how many people are involved here, you can end up working amiably together, and you can end up becoming a powerhouse, or like a power couple dynamic, right? And instead of being enemies, it could be like an enemies to friends situation. Like, instead of seeing each other as the enemy, you can see each other or treat each other as someone who you can learn from, someone who, allows for you to improve upon your skills, right? But I do see the case where maybe for others of you, what might end up working for you and this other person is for you to just focus on your own things, right? Like, you lead something and this other person leads something else. Or this could also be a situation where maybe a good, healthy, open, honest conversation between you both could be a gateway for both of you, each of you, to let each other know, like, hey, these are my non-negotiables. These are my boundaries. So as long as you can respect this, and as long as I will respect your boundaries and your non-negotiables, then we're fine. We can work together. Yeah. All of a sudden, I thought of a divorce. Maybe some of you are going through a divorce or a separation. And this is the month in which each of you is stipulating what belongs to you, what stays with you, what is rightfully yours, and so forth. This is the month in which you might be dividing assets, for example. But I definitely do see us standing up, right? Whatever your situation may be, I do see you standing up for yourself this month. Some of you may be standing up to a friend. Some of you may be having a heart-to-heart with a friend. All of a sudden, I thought of Neville Longbottom from Harry Potter. More specifically, the movie Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. When Neville stands up to the Golden Trio, Hermione, Ron, and Harry. And then Dumbledore commemorates Neville's courage to stand up to his friends by confirming that, yes, it takes a great deal of courage to stand up to one's enemies, but even more courage to stand up to one's friends. Right? So if there is something that you have been wanting to get off of your chest, to someone who you are very close to, maybe to a friend, it could also be to a family member. I feel like this is the month in which you're going to get this off of your chest. You're going to have that talk. So I was meant to pull out a card to find out what is something to look out for this month, and we have the Seven of Wands. Yeah, so the Seven of Wands indicates standing your ground, right? Defending your position. The Seven of Wands can also indicate a defensive energy, right? So yeah, it seems like this is the month in which either you're fighting the haters, or you're not letting the haters bring you down. You're not letting anyone project anything onto you. You are taking the high road this month. I feel like a lot of you are realizing that when people let their inner trolls come out, it's usually when they are going through something. And so you having this awareness, you might be showing a little bit of compassion towards those whose pain might be manifesting in this unpretty way. I'm going to refer to it as. But you having compassion doesn't mean that you are letting yourself get bulldozed over, right? You are, as mentioned before, standing up for yourself and asserting your boundaries. So yeah, I feel like just something to look out for this month is, projections or petty behavior. With extroverted here, I wonder, and with the Sun card, I feel like this is the month in which you may be garnering a lot of attention, and most of it will be positive. And I do see this being the case because I feel like it's this positive energy that is also attracting people who, as mentioned before, could be a bit envious of it, because that's something that they are desiring for themselves. Yeah, it makes me think of, when anyone becomes popular, not only the fans appear, but also the troll behavior. So I had my laptop on and it started making a lot of noise. It's a Laptosaurus now, since I purchased it in the year 2018. But anyways, going back to your reading, yeah, I feel like you will be staying above it all. And with the Seven of Wands, you're showing a lot. I heard you're showing a lot of charisma. I feel you are showing a lot of charisma this month. And you're also maintaining your poise and maintaining your spot as well. Yeah, if this is at work or school, there could be some people who might want to compete for your spot. Maybe you recently won a spot, or you're like at the top of your class or of a department, right? Maybe you're gaining the favor of an employer or something like that because of your hard work, because of your dedication. Or maybe you won something, as mentioned before, you have achieved something, and other people might be wanting that which you have achieved, that which you have won. But even though they might try to compete against you, it seems like for you there is no competition because they won't be able to win against you. What I heard in my mind is there is no competition, right? Because for you there is no competition. Like, you're not worried. So there's this feeling of either you're not worried about the competition because you have your eyes on the prize, you're focused on you, you're focused on just you maintaining your own momentum regardless of how other people are doing. And that is keeping you afloat, that is keeping you in the flow and winning or doing quite well. Right. And I feel like a lot of you might not see it as you competing against everybody else. I feel like a lot of you are in this mindset of, there's room for everybody. Like, there's no need to compete. We can all do well if we just focus on our own thing and do our own thing. And what it seems to me is that you're doing your own thing. And again, if you often fall into this competitive comparison mindset, maybe the advice for you guys is to instead of seeing it as you competing against, a select few or everybody else, to instead to do your own thing, to find your own maybe unique style, right? To create your own brand, to build your own team, right? And if you can't get out of like that comparison or competitive mindset, then this month use it to your advantage. Use it in a healthy and conducive way. Competitiveness doesn't have to result in you feeling bad about yourself, or you beating yourself up, or you putting yourself down, or thinking of yourself as less than others, or building yourself up to a point where now you are placing unrealistic expectations on yourself and maybe pushing others away, but rather use it as a way to fuel you, use it as a way to educate you and teach you. Like, hey, look, this is where I can improve upon, or this is where I would like to improve upon, or turn jealousy into inspiration. Whoever you end up feeling jealous or envious about, turn it into inspiration. Like, oh, okay, the reason I'm feeling this way is because in actuality, that's what I aspire to be, or that's what I aspire to have or to create. And so I can use this person as an example. I can use this person as confirmation that this is possible, right? If this person was able to achieve this, then I can achieve something similar as well, or I can achieve my own dreams. And so I'm going to use this person as an example or as inspiration, and that's going to fuel me. Yeah, so turn it into a positive, turn it into something that can be conducive and can be healthy instead of detrimental to you, to your confidence, to your mental health, your mental well-being. But now I'm going to look into what is something you can look forward to this month. So we have the Three of Swords in the upright. I want to clarify this card, please. Can we have a clarifier? that one spat out, and that's the Four of Cups in the reversal. Yeah, so the Four of Cups can indicate disappointment. The Three of Swords can indicate heartache. And if I didn't mention this, it's the Four of Cups in the upright that can indicate disappointment. So with the Four of Cups showing up in the reversal, along to clarify the Three of Swords, something you can look forward to this month is a healing of the heart. It seems like you are either releasing, letting go of a heartbreak, a heartache, or as mentioned before, of grudges, of resentments. Whatever was blocking your heart space, this is the month in which you will be able to release it. And because this came out in what it is that you can look forward to, it is very likely that you will end up releasing this. And once you do, you will end up feeling more at ease and at peace. Because, swords have to do with the mind, cups have to do with emotions. And so what I'm seeing here is that some emotional baggage has been clouding your judgment, has been distracting you, distracting your mind. It hasn't allowed for you to think clearly, or to maybe be in the present, focus on whatever you need to focus on the here and now. And so you releasing this emotional baggage, you releasing disappointments, you releasing maybe even what I heard is false expectations, maybe expectations that you had placed on yourself that were unrealistic or were unfair, or just maybe weren't even yours. Maybe were expectations that you thought you should have to maybe be like a best version of yourself, or to compare to somebody, or to compete against somebody, etc. That's what you are releasing, you're letting go of, or it's being released this month. And you letting go of this, it's freeing you, it's liberating you, and it's kind of freeing your mind. No longer do you have to worry about this. No longer do you have to think on this, ruminate about it, or obsess over it. Now you can give new tasks to your mind that are more productive, tasks that make sense for your mind to be working on, maybe during this month of April. Yeah, and I feel a lot of you, what you are healing is a wound associated with comparison tendencies. Yeah, I feel like a lot of you are affirming to yourself this month, there is no need to compare myself to others. There is no need for me to be like anybody else. I don't have to be whoever I look up to be proud of myself. I can be proud of myself as I am. Or I don't have to be whoever I look up to or who everybody else looks up to be worthy of attention, of love, of praise, or to be worthy. I am worthy, period. That's something that you might be asserting. Assertion makes me think of asserting, which makes me think of affirming. You are affirming self-validating statements this month, which is completely changing the ball game for you guys. It's shifting your perspective. It's shifting your perception of yourself in relation to the world, of your worth, of your value. The word bitterness came to mind. Some of you might be releasing some bitterness. I sense an active choice to heal, right? To let go of something in order to heal, to remove the thorn so that the wound could finally close and heal. You could also be letting go of disappointment. I do feel called to point out that if you have been holding on to a past disappointment, if you've been going back to it like, man, I should have done that, or I should have done that better, I should have said that, or, I'm still grieving the one that got away, or the thing that I passed up because I should have held on to it, I shouldn't have, etc. This is a month in which you're making peace with it and you're finding closure through that. You're realizing that although that thing is no longer here, it's no longer part of your reality, it's part of your past, that doesn't mean that there aren't other things that are available to you, that there aren't other things to look forward to, right? Maybe that was a lesson, or you can look at it as a lesson right now that maybe is helping you to better appreciate what you do have right now, or better appreciate your future prospects. Or this is a lesson that has taught you how to create better prospects for yourself, how to take better care of yourself, how to stand up for yourself, how to assert your boundaries, right? What to look for in terms to red flags and green flags, right? So this is not a loss. I feel like this month you're realizing it's not a loss. It's not something that you have to, let's say, continue mourning or grieving, but maybe something that you can look at as a blessing. Like, hey, no, wait, I didn't lose anything there. I gained, actually. And so I don't have to continue grieving or mourning that, or I don't have to continue feeling disappointed about it, because in actuality, there's nothing to be disappointed about. Maybe that's how some of you might be feeling. And that's, again, changing the ball game for you. Yeah, and I feel like a lot of you could end up shifting your perspective in this way because something is working out for you, right? With manifestation, I feel like a lot of you this month could be seeing how something had to happen, as mentioned before, something had to come to an end, fall away, for something better to come in, for that which you have been wanting to manifest, right? And I feel like some of you this month are accepting that divine timing is a thing, right? That everybody has their moment, right? And just because someone had their moment like a year ago, 2 years ago, while maybe you were grieving or mourning a loss or feeling through a disappointment, that didn't mean that you will never have your moment, because now maybe this year 2026, or maybe in the month of April, it's when you're having your moment. It's when you are now receiving your blessings, or you are making way for your blessings, right? So everybody goes through ups and downs, and we don't all go through these ups and downs at the same time. Sometimes we do as a collective, which sucks, but no, not sometimes, it often happens. Yet individually, our journeys, they vary and they differ. So while someone might be celebrating a beginning, another might be going through an ending. And then the roles will be reversed at some point. I feel like I went all dark and gloomy there, but something I am noticing, if you have been praying for something to end, like some kind of heartache, heartbreak, yeah, that's something to look forward to, because it is manifesting. Your prayers will be answered, or they're starting to get answered. As mentioned, some of you are finding closure, or you are experiencing or starting to experience peace once more, inner peace, or something is getting wrapped up. I did talk about a divorce. So if you have been going through a divorce, and this whole divorce process has been pretty heavy and just painful, and you've been wanting for it to just get wrapped up, it seems like that's happening. It could end up getting wrapped up, completed, concluded, or you're receiving news that you're at the final stages of it. Right? And so soon this will all come to its conclusion, and then you can peacefully move on. Yeah, and there's definitely recharging, reflecting, recharging this month as well. Okay, but now I want to pull out an oracle card to get. And by the way, the number 18 here reminds me of the 18th major arcana of the deck, which is the moon card. So full moon energy seems to be of significance. Yeah, you could be releasing emotional baggages. You could be experiencing a heart chakra activation, or healing, possibly. Or you could be going through some kind of transition. Something might be made final during that time. Something that would give way to a new beginning. We have Sandcastle with everything is temporary and divine timing. I was talking about divine timing. I want to read the guidebook message associated with this card. I really like these guidebook messages. which is why I share them with you. So we have Sandcastle on pages 80 and 81. Everything is temporary, divine timing. Sand symbolizes the ever-changing nature of our lives on earth. We are brought into this earthly plane with nothing, and we will leave just the same. Likewise, when you build a sandcastle, your masterpiece will inevitably dissolve to the blank canvas that you started with. Everything that happens to you while on this earth is temporary, and understanding Earth's transient nature will allow you to put your problems into perspective. Ask yourself, are your current worries going to matter 5 years from now? The sandcastle symbolizes divine timing. The universe knows when you're ready to experience certain things. Until then, find peace with your current state of being. Everything will come to you in due time. Yeah, so you will also receive your blessings. You will also celebrate good news. Yeah, and I know we are in a material world, so the material does matter, but remember to not give so much priority to only the material. Also give priority to creating beautiful experiences, happy memories, and maybe even to connecting with people, getting to know people, not just only when they're feeling great and are happy and chirpy, but also when they're not feeling that great and happy and chirpy, or when they are a bit grumpy, because that's the beauty of humans. How complex, how not complicated, though we can be complicated at times, but complex we can be, how multifaceted. And this includes yourself, you appreciating the beauty in your multifacetedness. Okay, but these sandcastles could be of significance. And the sandcastle also makes me think that we go through many different phases, right? And we are meant to experience many different things in life. And if we experience many different endings and changes, it's because it's maybe a sign that you are transforming, that you are someone who is constantly transforming and evolving. Right? Because as you reach a new stage of evolution in your personal growth and development, you require new tools, upgrades in your life, which will then manifest through changes in your life. You losing in order to win some. Okay, but let me pull out one more oracle card. So we have balance with Libra, and the key phrase, a checkered pattern with the message, nothing is black and white. Find balance between extremes. To find mental equilibrium, try writing down your thoughts, meditating, exercising, or talking to a friend. Assess your daily routines to decide if you need to introduce more balance. I just did like an Aries reading, and the theme for one of the groups was balance. I wonder if you watched it and you chose that group as well, because if you did, that would be a cool confirmation. Yeah, but I feel like what is being restored this month is balance. You experiencing inner balance, inner equilibrium, as mentioned, inner peace, right? And you realizing that balance is not something that we simply obtain or that we reach and then we never have to worry about it. Balance is something that we have to continue maintain, right? So if things feel a little off balance, that doesn't mean that you're doing something terribly wrong. It just means that maybe you're just going through the motions, because nothing in life is completely and utterly perfect. Yeah, nothing is black and white. There's a spectrum of things, like there's a spectrum of emotions. And life is not all about endings and beginnings, right? There's the whole transition and the whole evolution where just things slowly transform and turn into something new. Balance also makes me think of like divine order and the balance of things in the great cosmos. Everybody gets a chance to be seen in some way or capacity. And so, yeah, if you feel like you've been in the shadows for the longest time, this month is when you are coming into the light, or the light is being directed to you. You are finding yourself standing in the spotlight and being seen. Or you are the one now showing up, ready to be seen. And now that I look at this balance card in the Seven of Wands, if you feel like you are in a position to help others, you might be helping others find their own footing or find their way or build their way up, possibly. Doesn't mean that you have to, but you could if it's, coming from you, right? Because you are coming from the space of, there is room for everybody. It's not just about me being on top. Right? I just thought of retirement. Some of you could actually be thinking about, if you feel like you had your time in the limelight and you're ready to retire, you could be thinking about retiring and maybe letting somebody else have all the limelight. That could be the case for some of you. Right? Yeah. And if you resonate with that, maybe it's something that you have healed or let go of, is this need to always be on top with the upper hand. Maybe this month you're feeling a lot more relaxed about it. Like, hey, as long as I'm in control of myself and I am leading my own life with grace, the rat race doesn't really matter to me anymore. I don't need the external validation to know that I am worthy, that I'm cool, that I'm fine, that I'm smart. I know that. So if someone else wants that external validation, that praise, then it's okay for them to have it, because I'm good. That could be the case or the energy for some of you guys. But these are all the messages coming through for you guys. Things I want to point out: the zodiac sign Aries, Libra, Pisces, Leo, Cancer, and Scorpio, because we have the death card here, which made me think of the death card in tarot, which is associated with the zodiac sign Scorpio. And Virgo could be of significance. The doggy made me think of Virgo and Taurus. I just mentioned a lot of zodiac signs. Okay, apologize for that. But those zodiac signs could be of significance. Gemstones, diamonds, dragons, the year of the dragon, the year of the rabbit, the year of the ox, the year of the dog could be of significance. The beach, the seashore, seaside could be of significance as well. And I did mention King Arthur, Camelot, but also just knights in shining armor, knighthood. The Middle Ages could be of significance. Also, anything else that, draws your attention or sends out to you in the cards, the illustrations. Take note of that as well, because it could be of significance. The number 19 made me think of the sun card. Oh, we have the moon card and the sun card, 18 and 19. Which again makes me think of balance. Balance is being restored. You are feeling a lot more balanced, more at ease, more calm. Also makes me think of masculine, feminine energy coming into union, or you feeling like you're embodying both, not just one or the other, or not just more of one than the other, but like a nice equal measure of both. I'm sorry for bringing it up to the end of the reading, but it just came to my mind right now, which is, if there is a dream that you are ready to let go of, as in you no longer feel connected to this dream, you no longer aspire for it to become reality, know that it's okay for you to let go of it. As mentioned, we evolve and we transform. And as we do, our preferences change, our way of thinking changes, what inspires us changes. And so what we might have aspired for in the past might not be what we want to be aspiring for now. So if you feel that way, if there's anything that you're like, I don't want to pursue that anymore, I don't want to dream that dream anymore, I'm ready for something different, I want something new, or I'm ready to open myself up to new dreams, then that's perfectly fine. And that could be the case for some of you, right? Maybe this barking up the wrong tree could be indicating that this month you're realizing that you have been pursuing a dream that in actuality wasn't a dream you really felt truly connected to, and you're ready to stop pursuing it and maybe start pursuing something that you do really feel called to now. And you're making peace with that. Maybe some of you have been going back and forth on whether to let go of something or not, or whether it's okay for you to let go of something or not. And this is a month in which you're making peace with the fact that, yeah, you're ready to let go of this. You've been ready. You want to, and it's okay. It's fine. So this is a month in which you could actually be taking action, maybe making preparations to let go of something, right? To wrap something up nicely and neatly, so that then you don't have to carry the baggage of whatever it is that you're saying goodbye to, and just step into your new beginning like free. Yeah, the example that comes to mind is like someone deciding that, they want to quit their job, and so they're turning in their 2 weeks notice this month. But for others of you, this could be about like wrapping up a project, saying goodbye to a community perhaps, or just maybe revamping. Maybe what some of you have been longing or wanting is to revamp something, rebrand, come up with a new name, come up with a new style. And this is the month in which you're taking action towards that. You're making those developments. And it's feeling good. You're feeling quite good about that and quite excited about it as well, because it feels like through you doing this, balance is being restored. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Thank you so very much. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful month of April. And until the next moment, bye bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 2, bienvenidos to your reading. So when meditating on the energy of this group, my mind started wandering a bit and having thoughts about how people change or how they can change over time. And as my mind was distracted by these thoughts, I did pick up on a subtle bittersweet feeling. So, seeing that you were drawn to the Seasons card, this month of April, you may notice slight changes in yourself or in someone around you, someone who you maybe are in a relationship with, whether it be romantic, familial, or platonic. And or you might notice slight shifts in your relationship dynamics or in a relationship dynamic with a specific someone. It could also be a lot of you are noticing that your idea of relationships, maybe of love, romantic love to be specific, has changed over time. And that, this was specific, that you are now attracted to or feel attracted to a different type is what I heard. Or that now what you are looking for in a relationship possibly is a lot different from what you were searching for or what you were attracted to in the past. And I'm sensing admiration, I'm sensing praise and recognition. So these observations that you are making them without judgment, nor with resentment. You are simply making them. And what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is someone leaning on a wall or like on a doorway with their arms crossed over their chest, fondly observing their partner or their loved one as they are going about doing their little tasks. And it's the subtle changes that they have observed in their partner or in their loved one that they are noting with fondness. Yeah, so there could be a little bit of that where you are admiring or you're simply noting the changes that you now see in your loved ones or the changes that your loved ones have made. And some of you could be feeling quite proud of that, because the example that is coming to mind is someone noting that a loved one of theirs has become a lot more confident, right? That maybe they met them at the time where they were very insecure or very fearful, but now they're self-assured, and that's beautiful to see. Now, because I did pick up on a bittersweet feeling, for others of you, this month you are noting that you and another have each changed, because you are growing, which is the sweet part. But the bitter feeling of this all is that you're growing in different directions, right? Maybe you are pursuing different dreams that are driving you in different directions, or your paths are just leading you in different directions. But this doesn't feel wrong, at least how it's coming through here. It doesn't feel wrong. It just feels like something that is happening that you are observing. And although it might be a little painful, there's no resentment towards it. At least that's what I'm picking up here. Especially because the Seasons card makes me think of something organic, something that, like the seasons. It's very natural. It happens. But it's also in its own unique way very beautiful to experience and to see. And it's also something to look forward to because the seasonal changes promise something new, rebirth, promise transformation, promise possibly a new beginning. So this month you might feel like changes in the air, or you might simply be observing, recognizing the changes that have already occurred in your life, in your relationships, within yourself, and maybe in others as well, those who you are close to, or maybe those who you just know of. Because all of a sudden I thought of a fan just thinking of their favorite like artist or musician and noting how their, let's say if this is a singer, their music has evolved over time. And it's just so amazing to see how they have matured and how their music has matured, or how it just has evolved. Yeah, so there's something here about like appreciating a change and evolution or transformation. Yeah, but I will say when I was looking at the seasons card, it made me think of like a new season. And I believe in the Northern Hemisphere, we have just welcomed spring. Yeah, so the spring equinox could have been quite significant for some of you guys. You might have sensed a shift in the energy, maybe around the time of the spring equinox. And it could be that some of you are looking forward to what this new season, spring season possibly, is bringing in for you, or what you can or would be able to create this spring season. Also, talking about spring season, I thought of spring cleaning. So some of you could be catching the spring cleaning fever this month of April, and decluttering, organizing, or cleansing your space or a space. But now I'm going to move on to the first set of cards, which will give us an overview of the month as well as a look at the main themes and lessons of this month of April. Ooh, 2 cards fell out. Interesting. So we have the 4th house with Saturn in Cancer, the key term charity, and we have the 6th house with Jupiter in Virgo, the key term patience. So the number 46 or 64 could be of significance, or the numbers 4 and 6 could be of importance. I feel like these may be representing either a year, like the year 1946, the year 1964, or months. So April and June, these could be birth months or significant months for some of you guys. But let me draw out the rest of the cards. Saturn and Jupiter, the 2 biggest planets that we know of in our solar system. Saturn speaks of discipline and structure, Jupiter of expansion and growth. I wonder if you have plans to move, because I do see some of you possibly relocating this month, or looking for, and then possibly finding a new place to settle down in. We have the Queen of Spades, number 42, Amor. Oh, interesting. We have a Cupid here, little cherub, angel, and then we have angels in the charity card. So angels could be of significance. You might be seeing a lot of angel numbers, or maybe you have recently. For those of you who need the reassurance or confirmation, your guardian angels or guardian angel, archangel, your angel is what I heard, is watching over you and watching over your loved ones. If you have prayed for angelic assistance, you are receiving it. I heard you are being taken care of, maybe by these angelic beings or presence. The angels are on your side. We have, series with fertility, nourishment, motherhood, family, and animals. Okay, and we have playful with fun, young love. Number 57, and the message, nothing needs your seriousness. A time to play is here. Allow in anyone and anything that gives you laughter, and allow yourself to laugh at the simple things, specifically yourself. Yourself. Life never ages wherever the pleasure of play resides. Okay. And let me pull out one more card. Okay, and we have One Horse Town, number 37, with boredom, monotony, small-mindedness, branch out and move on, and novelty needed. Interesting. This is an interesting spread. With patience and the One Horse Town, this month you might find yourself needing to exercise a little bit of patience as something comes along, as something unfolds, or as you push through or pass an energy or a vibe. Because I feel that you might find yourself a little bored at some point this month. But I feel like this boredom will be temporary because, again, you have the seasons card, right? Seasons are temporary. They pass. So you might be dealing with something that you know is temporary, that you know will come to an end, but that you still feel a little maybe impatient about it or a little just frustrated with it because you have to go through it nonetheless, right? And although you know it will come to an end, and you might even know when it will come to an end, you still can't help but feel a little ugh about it. But I do see things turning around for you, things improving, becoming less boring because we do have the playful card here. So there's this kind of advice to hold on. This will pass. This something boring will come to an end. The advice for you this month could also be that when you are dealing with a situation that is not, or something that is not as stimulating, that is not engaging you, to, if you can, add of your own accord a little play and fun in your life, maybe by doing or pursuing something on the side that does stimulate you, that does engage you. There is this overall feeling of, if you do not want to be dreadfully bored, you might need to get a little out of your way to bring some fun and play into your life or into your day-to-day. Yeah, especially because we have monotony here. So if things have been a bit monotonous, maybe this is a heads up for you guys that if you want to get out of this monotony, you will have to do something different, right? You will have to get out of maybe your routine to either start or build some kind of momentum or simply to wake your senses, wake your mind. Because now what is coming through is if you have been experiencing a creative blockage and you've been waiting for inspiration to strike, or if you have been feeling a bit under the weather or somewhat in a lull and you've been waiting for motivation, then you're being let know, at least for this month, it's not going to magically happen by simply waiting for it. You will need to get out and maybe search for that inspiration. Or I keep hearing create friction. I don't know what that is about, but what I'm thinking in my mind is someone trying to start a fire, like a campfire. And they're like rubbing two stones together. or like a twig or something like that. And so they need a little bit of like friction in some way to spark or to kindle this fire. And so that's what you're being advised to do. It's like you need to take action or some kind of initiative in order for you to get out of this monotony, in order for you to experience a shift. But something I was going to mention at the beginning, but I totally forgot to mention, which is that this month you could be meeting someone new. Someone new might be coming into your life, right? Like this new season, for example, a spring season could be bringing in someone new into your life. And this someone new could be adding something new to your life, could be stirring the sense of adventure, or they could help you get out of a slump, or start build some kind of momentum in your life. But I say could because this all feels like a possibility, since what is coming through is at the end of the day it will be up to you. It will very much depend on whether you want to, let's say, get on the ride, be an active participate, or engage. If you don't, if you choose not to, if you choose to stick to your same routines, if you choose to, like, the example that is coming to mind is you meet someone new and they try to spark a conversation with you, but you're not responding, right? You're not really engaging in the conversation. You're kind of cutting the conversation short. And so, although the other person is trying to deepen this conversation with you, they're having difficulty doing so because there isn't any reciprocation on your part. And so the conversation does get cut short. And that is that, right? This doesn't move along or it doesn't go anywhere. So that was just an example. But that is something that you're kind of being given a heads up about, right? Because I do see maybe for a lot of you an opportunity for you to interact, engage with someone new or new people who, as mentioned before, could bring something new, something fresh into your life, or could just help you get out of a slump if that's what you feel like you're currently experiencing, through sparking something in you, like an interest in a movie, just as an example, an interest in like a topic because that's something that they brought up in a conversation. Yeah, because we do have the Cupid here in playful. Makes me think of, Cupid doing their thing and, shooting the arrow. So, yeah, there could be an interest, right? Someone might be catching your interest, or you might be catching somebody else's interest. And this could be romantic, but it doesn't have to be. It could simply be platonic, just general, straightforward interest. Because we do have this charity card and then nourishment, motherhood. Okay. Either you may be assisting another, right? You might be providing special assistance to another, or someone will be providing special assistance to you. If you are teachers, mentors, tutors, counselors, trainers, etc., this month I do see you having I heard a challenging case. So this could literally be a case if you are like doctors, therapists. I do see you being a lot more attentive with someone in specific, someone who might be needing a little bit more care, or who might be struggling quite a bit or more than your other patients or students, for example. So you might be dedicating more time to this person, or this person might be requesting more of your time. Or if it's you who is needing the extra time, you will be given it. Because I do see someone being well taken care of, or someone being given extra time, attention, or care. Um, with charity and the series card, I wonder if some of you do run a nonprofit or you are part of a nonprofit organization, because I am seeing that in the cards for some of you guys. Or this month you might be volunteering somewhere, you might be volunteering your time and your services, or you could be invited to be part of like a nonprofit organization. What I'm seeing in specific is that someone that you know, like a loved one or a friend, could run a nonprofit, or could volunteer, be a volunteer somewhere. And they could be inviting you to come along with them, or they could just be, I heard, referring you or talking to you about their nonprofit, like giving you information about it. And it could be after you have asked. Maybe it just comes up in a conversation. Or this is the month in which you could be meeting someone who is a humanitarian, right? Who is very involved in helping others, helping communities. They could maybe foster animals. Maybe that's something that you do or that you will be interested in doing this month. Yes, maybe someone might run an animal farm or volunteer at an animal farm. But what I also thought of is this month, you could be taking care of an animal, right? Maybe the cat distribution system is finding you or selecting you this month, or someone who is at a very vulnerable state this month will be requiring of your extra time and attention, right? Maybe someone is going through something emotionally, or maybe someone is feeling under the weather this month. And this someone, I want to specify, could be a human or like a person or an animal, right? And so you might be dedicating extra time and care to them, and might find yourself needing to be a little bit patient with them at times as they are recovering or as they are feeling through something, etc. The seasons here just made me think of when certain animals go through a shedding period. Like snakes, they shed their skin. I believe also dogs and cats go through a shedding period when the seasons are changing, and some people actually have to take the time to groom their furry animal companions, help them shed their old hair or fur or skin. And that requires patience, that requires care, right? So that could be the case for some. But with playful, just know that if there is anybody who's feeling a bit under their weather, they will get their spunk back, their mojo back. They will be recovering or feeling better as the month progresses. With series here and patience, something might be taking a little bit of time, and it's because it is a special case or a sensitive case is what I heard. Or it is something that does require the amount of time that it's taken. It's not something that is instantaneous or that it's like an easy fix is what I heard. It is something that requires time for it to either seep in or for it to heal or for it to grow. I know this is all very general. I'm trying my best to pinpoint what this is. But the only thing that is coming to mind, which I'm trying to be careful and mindful as to how to approach it, because I know this could be a sensitive topic for some, is fertility, right? Is conception. Maybe some of you are this month trying to conceive, or maybe you have for a while now, and it is something that is taking time because possibly it does require some time. And I personally don't know much about fertility treatment, so I don't want to go that much into it. And if I don't know much about it, but you could be looking into it, or you could still be going through this treatment in the month of April. Others of you who are wanting to become parents, you could be looking into adopting a child. Others of you might be looking into, and maybe in this month actually adopting a fur baby or an animal companion. I want to look at the tarot now because I am receiving messages, but I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I want to see what the tarot has to say. So first I'm going to draw out a card to find out what is something to look out for this month, and then I will draw out a card to find out what is something you can look forward to this month of April. So two cards fell out together, and it's the Death card in the reversal and the Wheel of Fortune in the upright. Both of these cards can indicate, well, especially when the Death card is in the upright, indicate endings. The Wheel of Fortune indicates the ending of a cycle, and the Death card indicates transformation and rebirth, which is something that was touched upon when referring to the Seasons card. When the Death card shows up in the reversal, it can indicate a resistance to change. So, yeah, as mentioned before, this is a month in which you are observing changes, or you are maybe noticing that change is required. If you want for things to move forward, if you want to move forward in life, some things do need to change, or maybe you need to get out of your comfort zone, or possibly there is something that you do need to let go of. But it's the refusal of accepting these changes or going along with them that could be holding you back, that could be making it a little bit difficult for a cycle, maybe an era of your life, to come to an end. Or for the Wheel of your Fortune, let's say, to start moving in a new direction, start moving upward in a favorable direction, because the Wheel of Fortune did fall out in the upright. So with these two cards, I do sense that your fortune, your luck is changing, or it is about to change, but there could be some resistance to this change of luck or in luck. I will say I am having a little difficulty tuning into this energy, and I feel like it is because there's either a lot going on here, or this energy is a bit divided. What I keep seeing in my mind's eye, it's like different branches. I feel like there's different storylines that are associated with this overall energy, and so I can't really pinpoint one specific story, one specific scenario. It's a little muddy in my head, but it could also be that there is something here universe doesn't want to maybe really go into, because maybe it is a sensitive topic, or it's something very private that maybe you guys wouldn't be so comfortable with it being shared, even if it's like in an anonymous or general reading. But I do feel like the course of your life is changing, or it's about to change. It's leaning towards change. And sort of in this reading, you're being advised to kind of allow for it to happen. Allow for yourself to be guided in a new direction. Because with all these angels here, I do feel like you are being divinely guided in a whole new direction. But for you to move into this new direction, to move into a new storyline, is what I heard, you must first be okay with moving away from the path that you are currently on and have been on for a while. Sorry, someone just passed through my room and I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, yes, I was going to refer to this Chariot card. How in the illustration we have this woman who is holding these two children, kind of moving in one direction, but looking back, right? And then we also have these two children kind of reaching out to whatever is being left behind, right? So there might be something that you are finding it difficult to maybe walk away from or move on from this. Maybe a situation, maybe a situationship, it could be a relationship or a person. Yeah, I did speak about how, relationship dynamics might be changing, or you have noticed that they have changed, or you have noticed that you have changed, right? Or that you are looking for something new or different in a relationship. Maybe for some, this could be a situation where your eyes have been opened, or you have opened your eyes to some truth, to some maybe mistreatment, or to the fact that you are wanting something better for yourself and your loved ones, possibly, or that it is time to move on. And if you have been going back and forth on whether you should stay, you should go, the fourth house is the house of the home and family. The sixth house is the house of health. It's also the house of small animals and pets. Yeah, so as mentioned before, some of you could be looking into relocating, moving, or you could be this month seriously considering or looking into leaving an environment, an unhealthy environment, possibly. I heard for the sake of you, of your health, but also for the sake of your loved ones. I wonder if some of you are parents or if you do take care of like innocent beings like children or animal companions, right? I am hearing or I'm seeing that if you do decide to leave, if you do decide to embark on a new adventure or choose your health, choose your safety or the safety of your loved ones, you will have divine or angelic support. I do want to point out the message that is on this Amor card. So it reads, Amor is a sign that someone is looking at you with great love and longing. So this makes me think of you having a divine presence or divine beings who are looking over you, who are watching over you and your loved ones. Also, if it is ever the case that you do need assistance, like tangible physical assistance, who another can provide you with, you will receive it. You will receive it. There might be one or more than one person who will be reaching out to you offering a lending hand, or there will be different people who will be helping you along the way, is what I heard. And some of the assistance you could be needing might be moral support, right? Maybe that's something that you will be seeking, or if it's not you, again, this could be somebody else who might be needing of moral support, and you could be the one providing it to them. But if it is you, you will be receiving this moral support. But I feel like at the end of the day, it all comes down to you. It comes down to you wanting better for yourself and you choosing your well-being, you choosing maybe your happiness, right? Your safety, or as mentioned before, the safety of those who are under your care. With the Death card and the Wheel of Fortune, what you're being let known this month is you don't have to repeat a cycle. The same story doesn't have to be retold, right? You can start anew. You can write a new narrative. It doesn't have to be like it's always been, or it doesn't have to be the same. Your story can be rewritten through new experiences, through new choices, different choices and decisions. And I just noticed we have another angel here in the Wheel of Fortune card. But let me not draw out a card to find out what is something that you can look forward to this month. Oh, okay. 2 cards fell out together again. Wow, 2 queens. Incredible. So we have the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Swords. 2 badass, independent, self-reliant, non-negotiable queens. I mean, the Queen of Swords knows what she wants, and I apologize for the pronouns, but it makes it easier for me to refer to the cards. But the Queen of Swords knows what she wants, and once this queen has made up her mind or their mind, because these cards are not associated with gender, they don't look back. They don't second guess themselves. They stay pretty firm, right? But the Queen of Swords, when she is in the upright, is usually very level-headed, and whatever decision she has come to is a decision that she really mulled over and thought of before affirming it. And it's quite interesting I mentioned that because the Queen of Wands looks pretty pensive, right? And the Queen of Wands represents someone who is confident, someone who knows what they want, but more specifically, they know who they are, right? They won't blend in a crowd because they have a good and strong sense of self, right? So this is something you can look forward to. This is the energies that you can and you will embody, or that you are starting to embody. maybe the reason why you have called upon change, maybe without you being fully aware of it, is because you are stepping into this queenly energy. You are starting to, or you have started recognizing your inner power, right? You started being more respectful towards yourself. And you also started giving more importance to boundaries, your boundaries. Maybe recently you decided that you don't want to settle for less, that you do deserve more, and that you don't have to put up with or excuse more like disrespect, constant disrespect coming from those who are inconsiderate of your needs or who time and time again show through their actions and their behaviors that they're not interested in working with you or interested in growing with you, right? Or building a sustainable, healthy, beautiful life with you. The Queen of Swords, both of these queens are very independent, right? I always think of the Queen of Wands as someone who is self-employed, someone who is a freelancer. And I always think of the Queen of Swords as someone who can reign alone. They can reign alone if they want to. Right? And maybe that's actually what they want to do, reign alone. So yeah, this is a month in which you might be reclaiming maybe your independence or your sovereignty. You might be taking a hold of your life once more by making life decisions based on what you want and what you feel is right and what is of your highest good. Or this is a month in which you're trusting in your intuition, you're trusting in your inner judgment. You're not doubting yourself, or you're not letting fear, insecurities, or other people's projections, other people's beliefs cloud your judgment or influence your decision making. I did speak about possibly coming out of a slump, right? So because the Queen of Wands is one of the most creative queens of the deck, yeah, the Queen of Wands often makes me think of a creator, a creative, an influencer as well. As mentioned before, you will be coming out of this slump. And it will be after you have taken the reins in some kind of way, after you have decided enough is enough, no more waiting. I'm going to find that inspiration myself. I'm going to, all of a sudden it came to me all of a out of the blue. For those of you who are interested in creative writing, or there is a written work you want to publish and you've been waiting for like a publisher to pick up your work and give you an offer, this is the month in which you could be deciding enough is enough of waiting for someone to pick up my story. I'm going to look into how I can self-publish maybe my manuscript or my novel. Or I'm going to look into what I can do to share my work with others and yet still profit from it. Yeah, because as mentioned before, I see you taking the reins. I see you deciding to take some kind of action this month. But whatever action you are taking is something that you have been pondering over for a while. It's something that you have maybe considered, or it's kind of been in the back of your mind for a while, but you haven't fully considered it, like really entertained it until maybe possibly this month. And you're getting quite serious about it. But I love these two queens because this also makes me think of a glow up. This makes me think of someone who maybe for a while wasn't dedicating a lot of time to themselves. And then all of a sudden they're deciding, no, why shouldn't I dedicate time to myself? I deserve of my love, care, and attention. So I'm going to give it to myself. Once they do, they go through like this massive transformation, right? Because it's like a plant. We're like flowers. If we don't get watered, if we don't get enough sunshine, or maybe even shade, if we're locked up like in a stuffy room and not getting some love, it shows, right? But Provide a flower, a plant with its basic needs, and they will thrive. And there could be two badass individuals, two queens, a queen of swords energy and a queen of wands, who are going to play significant or major roles in your life this month. They could be providing you with the moral support I spoke about, or with the special assistance that you need. They could be there as guides, as mentors. They could be the one kind of inspiring you to take positive action, make positive changes in your life, or to believe in yourself, or simply reminding you of your inner strength, your inner power. Or they could be empowering you through their words, maybe through their actions, right? They could be a living example of something that you thought impossible, but that you always wanted for yourself. And so looking at them, seeing them thrive, seeing them doing what they did and still being able to do well for themselves, is inspiring you to also maybe bet on yourself, to also take a leap of faith, or to run your own show. Yeah, because both of these queens they're definitely thriving. With this Queen of Wands, I do see ideas coming to you this month. I do see you thinking and planning. For those of you who have been looking for somewhere to settle down in, like a new residence, you will be finding a place this month, and you might end up, I don't know why I tapped on this card, but rooming with two other people, living with two other people. For those of you who are parents and you have children who are already grown, like they're maybe in their pre-adult or adulthood, you're feeling quite proud of them this month. If you've been worried about them, I feel like this is the month in which you're observing them and realizing that there's really nothing to worry about. I know like parents always worry in some extent, but in reality there's nothing to worry about, because they're doing just fine, and you're realizing that you have given birth or raised a wonderful child or wonderful children who are self-reliant, or who can do well for themselves. Yeah, so I see you being proud of someone who you gave birth to, or someone who you raised, or someone who you saw grow. Maybe someone who you grew alongside with. So this could also be like a sibling, a cousin. I feel like this will also apply to friends, right? This is the month in which you could be looking at your friends and thinking, damn, they're amazing. What's that song that goes, my best friend, she's a real bad, yeah, so that's how you might be feeling about a friend of yours, or maybe people in your friend group. I want to pull out one more card. Anything else? The cards keep falling to the floor. Okay, so justice. Yeah, it seems like things are balancing out. Justice, I heard justice is being restored, or there will be justice this month. You're getting justice is also what I heard, or you're bringing justice to a situation by you no longer putting up with injustice, by you saying no to it, by you walking away from it. And justice also makes me think of decisions. So this is a month in which you are making some kind of final decision. I feel it to be the case. But as mentioned with these two cards, there is a possibility that there might still be some resistance, or if you feel some resistance because you fear change, or you're a little bit skeptical about what is next, whether there could be change can occur. You're being let know that yes, change can occur, that you are in the midst of it, and that although it might be uncomfortable, although this will require to let go of the familiar, this change is not something to fear, right? Or you don't have to fear it. You can embrace it, because it is leading you to freedom or independence. But let me pull out extra oracle cards to get any last messages, advice, and or guidance. Something might be coming back around, right? Something that will be either very reminiscent of an old pattern, or will be the representative of an old pattern. And the reason why this is coming back around is to give you a choice, right? It's to kind of or to help you see more like that you do have a choice. Either you can say yes to this old, to like the old patterns, maybe that what you want to come out of, or you can say no to it by rejecting it, by walking away from it, making a U-turn as soon as you spot it, right? Yeah, because the example that is coming to mind is a relationship type. You know, someone new comes in demonstrating the same behaviors of people who you were in previous relationships with, that it didn't work out with them. And instead of choosing this again or falling for it again, you're maybe saying no to it. So remember that change doesn't just happen to us. You know, it's also us who brings change about through our decisions. If we end up choosing the same thing but just with a different face, just with a different look, with a different name, then we're not choosing differently. We're not welcoming change. We're just welcoming the same thing, a loop. Let me see what else. So we have lighthouse with when the seas are rough, search for the light worker. As mentioned before, some of you could be the ones assisting others. Maybe you're the one who is helping somebody see, or maybe not just one person, but you're helping people recognize certain patterns in their life. It's not like you're telling them like this is a pattern. You might be, I don't know, but it's more like you're helping them recognize for themselves the patterns in their life, and kind of maybe helping them or guiding them as to how to break out of these patterns, or just being there for them as they themselves discover how to break out of these patterns. Yeah, so some of you may be counselors, and if you are like counselors, therapists, maybe you are tarot readers, spiritual advisors. It seems like this month you will be helping the very least one person in a very significant and positive way. If you offer like services, it seems like there will be a lot of people reaching out to you this month, asking of your assistance, guidance, possibly. And this seems to be playing a very significant role in your life, because you could, is it inadvertently, you could also be helping yourself through helping these individuals. I've heard that several times from tarot readers. I don't know if you know, of course you do. Why wouldn't you? know Carrie from the channel Kino Tarot. She has mentioned, I believe in her general readings, that she has had that experience where she is giving a general reading and she gets like guidance from it as well. Like as she's channeling a message for the general public, she's also hit with a moment of realization, like an aha. I just learned something new through delivering this message, a guidance that I can apply in my own life. And that has happened to me as well. So yeah, this could be a kind of like teacher-student, student-teacher situation where as you're teaching, you're also learning something new. Or maybe your clients, customers, or friends who you are providing a moral support to, or anybody who you are helping this month in some kind of way or capacity, will be offering you some valuable advice or words of wisdom, or teaching you something valuable this month. The Justice card and the Wheel of Fortune makes me think of the end of a karmic cycle. If you believe in karmic cycles, or if you feel like you've been experiencing one, you're being let know that this karmic cycle, it's bound to come to an end. It will come to an end, and it's very likely that it is in this month that it's going to come to an end. But what I mostly feel is that this cycle, this karmic cycle, let's say, was meant to come to an end a while back. Like it's pending. There's this feeling of it's pending. I'm seeing in my mind a wheel that wants to turn, fully turn, but it can't because something is like preventing it from doing so. It's like a record player that's a bit like scratched, so it keeps going back. It keeps playing on loop, and it's because maybe like the energy is possibly waiting on you to make a final decision, waiting on you to maybe decide, maybe even inwardly, like enough is enough, or yes, I want this change, or yes, I deserve better. Like, yes, I want to reclaim my life. I want to take reins of my life now, or yes, it's okay for me to move on. But I understand if it takes some time to make this kind of decision, right? To let go of something, to start anew, because it can take a lot from one. It is a big step, or it can be a big leap. Oh, patience. We have the word patience again. Interesting. With Capricorn and wisdom and the key phrase, the hands of a clock move slowly with the message, you might judge yourself as you race against the clock. Are you ahead or behind? Look to adjust how you measure yourself against other people or your own expectations. Cultivate your own sense of intuitive timing and let go of comparison. This is something I think I spoke of to group one, or with group one, which was about comparison tendencies. I don't know if you were also drawn to group one, but if you were, those messages could also apply to you, or you might end up resonating with them, or they might end up resonating with you. But yeah, the Queen of Wands doesn't compare. Like both of these queens, actually, they wouldn't compare themselves to anybody. And they kind of look similar, actually. They're both wearing white as well. So you're realizing that there's no need for you to compare yourself to anybody else, because we're all on different journeys. And that, again, some things do take time, as mentioned, and the time that it has taken you to decide upon something, to take action, or to move through something, feel through something, it's the time that was necessary, right? So this only confirms to you, or it's meant to serve as a reassurance that you are not behind, and that you have not wasted time, and that there's still time, right? And this, I heard the sands of time can start moving again. They can start moving again. I feel like there's something that you think needed to happen yesterday, and you're kind of bummed out that it hasn't happened yet. And it's this idea that it needed to happen at this certain time and it hasn't happened yet, that is making you feel as if you're behind, or as if something is not working out, or as if you can't move forward, or your life cannot move forward. But I feel like what you're being let known is that nothing is amiss, like nothing is blocked. You're not like truly blocked. Like I think that maybe focusing on this too much, or hyper focusing on it's making it seem like it's moving too slowly, or it's taking too long, but in reality it isn't. Like right now things are actually moving at a normal pace, or this, as mentioned, this is something that maybe just in general does require some time. And so if there is something that you feel is dragging a bit, the advice for you again maybe is to redirect your attention, focus on something else, or if there is anything that you can do to create some momentum in this, or speed things along, then you're being advised to look into that. But I also feel like you're being asked to not force it, right? And maybe to look at your beliefs, look at your expectations, to see if it is these expectations that are making something seem like it's moving too slowly when in actuality it isn't, or it's making you feel blocked when in actuality you aren't. A message that is coming through for some of you is you don't have to place your life on hold as you wait for something to happen, right? Your whole life doesn't revolve around one thing, nor do they dictate how much we can enjoy our life as is in the here and now, because that will be up to you. Yeah, so I feel like some of you are being kind of suggested to enjoy the here and now, or take your mind off of something that you've been fixating on by focusing on something else, or just enjoying other aspects of your life, enjoying yourself, or just focusing on maybe other matters that do require of your attention at this moment. Well, while the dough is in the oven baking, you can read a book. You can prepare a lemonade or prepare a batch of cookies, right? To wait for something doesn't mean that everything has to be suspended. You can wait for something as you continue living and enjoying your life, creating and doing other things. Okay, but let's see. I just want to read the guidebook message associated with the lighthouse. I'm the kind of person that if like I have an appointment scheduled at 3 p.m., I feel like I can't do anything. Like I can't engage in anything else. I can't relax because I have that appointment. But, I realized that that's very stressful and that that's not very fun to just be anxiously waiting for a time. There are alarm clocks for a reason. So I could set an alarm ahead of time to not miss my appointment, to be prepared for it. I don't have to suspend everything waiting for that one thing. Yeah, but we have lighthouse with when the seas are rough, search for the light and light worker. And we have the message, before navigation systems, sailors had to rely on the lighthouse for guidance. The lighthouse has weathered many storms and continues to stand tall as a symbol of hope and perseverance. If this card presents itself to you, you're being reminded to have a positive outlook despite the challenges life hands you. You may also consider yourself a light worker. A light worker is someone who comes to Earth with the purpose of uplifting humanity. Like the lighthouse, you're shedding light upon someone else's darkness or guiding them out of a storm. You are here to help the world in your own unique way. Do not dim your light to fit in because others are counting on you to shine bright. And these messages are on pages 52 and 53, so these numbers could be of significance. But things I want to point out before I wrap up your reading, we have Scorpio, Cancer, Virgo, Libra, fire signs, and air signs. Fire signs are Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. Air signs are Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Oh my goodness, I almost forgot. And we also have Capricorn. So basically all the zodiac signs. But let's see, horses, the year of the horse could be of significance. The year of the ox. There's something here about like Greek statues, Greek mythology that could be of significance. Also Cupid, cherubs, Sleeping Beauty, the story Sleeping Beauty could be of significance, or Rumpelstiltskin, the fairy tales, Grimm fairy tales. There's this, I forgot what it is, but there's this painting where there's a boy and a girl, or a young man and a woman who are on this swing in a garden. I don't know what it's called. I don't know who painted it. But if you know what I'm talking about, that painting or the name of the painting, is it a name of a season? It could be of significance. Oh, it is. I just looked it up. I had to look it up to scratch the itch. It's called Springtime, I believe. And it's by Pierre Auguste Cotte, a French artist. So fitting, so interesting. Very fitting that it's called Springtime, because spring is the season that was coming through a lot in your reading. Yeah, so this spring season seems to be pretty transformative, pretty epic as well. Spring is all about rebirth. It's about blossoming and flourishing. Yeah, so let yourself blossom, let yourself flourish. Welcome in a new beginning. Oh, yeah, you could be seeing a lot of angel numbers on the clock, like 333, 222, or just repeating numbers. So keep an eye out for that. That could be just an indicator from your guides that they are with you, or from your angels that they are with you, that they are supporting you, that you are not alone. Okay? Yes, but thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for sticking around till the very end. If you are new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Thank you so very much. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful, beautiful month of April. And until the next moment, bye bye. Hello, if you were drawn to group 3, the card Hope, bienvenidos to your reading. So when meditating on the energy of this group, the message reaching formation came to mind, as well as the message long overdue. So it seems that this month something is reaching its final form, which makes me think of completion, finality, outcomes. So if you have been developing a plan, an idea, or a project, it is in this month that you will be completing it. Or what I heard right now in my mind was making the final edits, making the final revisions. If you've been working on a paper, it is in this month that you are completing the final draft and possibly even turning it in, submitting it, or publishing it, presenting it. But what else came to mind is that this month you will see the final form, the peak of something. Like what something looks like when it's at its peak, when it has reached maybe its limit or its full capacity, full potential. Now, the message reaching for the star does make me think of hope, aspirations. It also makes me think of ambition. So this month, you may be aspiring for more or widening your horizons. You may be taking on an ambitious project, or you could be taking a leap of faith, right? Taking a bit of a risk with the hopes or the mentality that it either will be worth it or that it will lead somewhere good. Crows, ravens, or black feathered birds could be of significance. They may be a good omen for you this month, or a symbol of protection, and perseverance is also what came through. I heard the time has come. So it's very likely that something for which you have been waiting for or you've been working towards to for a while now is either manifesting or giving you results, positive results, this month of April. It's happening, right? Like it's finally happening this month of April. I thought of that scene in The Office with Scott when he's yelling, "It's happening, it's finally happening." Yeah, you may be celebrating the arrival of something, or what I heard in my mind was the word imminent. There could be a time-sensitive matter. Some of you may be presented with an opportunity or an offer that has a time limit, right? So you only have a set amount of time to either say yes to the offer or jump on this opportunity. For others of you, what is finally happening for you, it's a bit short-lived. It's making me think of like a sunset, right? Because we do have the sun here, or a sunrise. The moment the sun is setting or the sun sets completely or the sun rises lasts for just a moment, right? And so if you're there to see it, then lucky you, right? But if you're not there, then you missed it. But it happens, or it happened either way, right? But it only happens during a certain time. So yeah, there could be some kind of time sensitive matter or situation, or like something is happening, but it's only happening at a certain time. And so you either have to be there, or if it's not about you being there, it's more so about you feeling excited as you are anticipating the moment, because you know it's going to happen, but it's going to happen at this exact time. So you're kind of like awaiting the moment, and the whole waiting for it is very, very exciting. Or you will find yourself very excited. So this makes me think of, when people await the release of something, like the release of, I don't know, an album, a music video, or this could be talking about a launch. Maybe you're launching something. Maybe you're attending some kind of premiere. Or this also makes me think of when, students enroll in classes. They have a scheduled time to do so, and they must be quick because, some courses fill up quickly. So they have to be there on the dot when the portal opens for them to make sure that they get to enroll in the class that they want. Yeah, so there could be something along those lines. Now I'm thinking of like concert tickets, right? Some concert tickets are in high demand, and so you have to be there when they're on sale to get a ticket. But let me at an affordable price or at its standard price, and not like a resale ticket with the outlandish, ridiculous prices. Okay, but let me now pull out the first set of cards, which will give us an overview of this month, as well as a look at the main themes and lessons of this month of April. Okay, so we have the 6th house with Mercury in Virgo and the key term caution. Looking at all of these, what are they supposed to be? Antelopes? This herd of antelopes or animals. It made me think of a crowd, like people rushing in, right? This reminded me of Black Friday in America. Like so many people line up, or so many people rush into the store at the moment that they open to get the best deals, right? Yeah, so there could be a little bit of like competition this month, or you might feel like you're competing against a crowd, against others to get a spot or to get some kind of opportunity. Maybe to be selected, to be chosen. This also makes me think of following the crowd, being part of a crowd, being part of maybe a craze. Yeah, with caution here, you could be dealing with a crowd this month. Or because we do have this queen here in the illustration, if it is you who is planning to launch something this month, just a heads up for you, there are going to be a lot of people, maybe more people than you anticipated, who will be rushing to get a hold of whatever it is that you are launching or offering, right? Because I'm also thinking of services. Maybe you are offering some kind of service, but you only have limited spots, right? Or you're only offering these services for a limited time only. And, people hear about that and they all immediately rush in to make sure that they get a spot. This also makes me think of order, doing things in an orderly fashion. It makes me think of, organizing an event so that things won't end up getting chaotic or confusing. If you're planning to throw some kind of event or to launch something, offer a service, maybe consider setting a time, right? Maybe to give people a fair opportunity to have a shot at maybe booking an appointment with you, or giving them enough of a heads up to know, like, oh, okay, on this day, on this time, I have to be free. I have to be on my phone, on my laptop to get a chance of booking an appointment with Group 3, purchasing that product that Group 3 is launching, or, be part of a live. Maybe some of you are doing some kind of live event online. this month. I'm giving different examples here, but I hope you don't get so hung up on the examples. I simply provide them to give you an image, to give you a scenario of how the underlying message can apply. But if you don't resonate with the example, you can simply consider like the underlying message or the underlying theme. Let me pull out one. Yeah, we have balance with level-headed, thoughtful, the message 74. You're finding more and more balance in life. You are understanding how to use thought rationally without drama needed. This sane thought process is leaving you balance in daily activities. Continue this confidence and positivity so the balanced energies can seek you out. Yeah, there's something here about organization, order, and also making sure that you have enough time. Maybe enough time to complete something, enough time to fill out or fulfill an order or orders, requests. So just a caution, a heads up for you guys this month to make sure that you're not biting more than you can chew, to make sure that you're giving yourself adequate amount of time to complete whatever it is that you need to complete without feeling rushed at the end, or without feeling like you're rushing or you're cramming, right? Because now I'm thinking of a student preparing for an exam. I think if it is the case that you do have an exam coming up this month of April, and you're a bit worried about it, I feel like you're being let known you can pass this exam, you can do well, again, if you give yourself enough time to study or to prepare for it, and not necessarily cram at the last minute, or just like study 5 minutes before the exam and hoping for the very best. Yeah, then we have hope, right? I feel like this month with the energy of Virgo, which is one of the most disciplined zodiac signs of the zodiac wheel, I believe. Yeah, you are being advised to be a little bit disciplined this month, or just apply a little bit of discipline when it comes to your studies, your responsibilities, tasks at work, etc., to get the kind of results or outcomes that you are hoping for. Again, an example, person A is retaking an exam, and because the first time around they didn't get the score that they really wanted, and they were given an opportunity to redo this exam to hopefully get a higher score, and they are aware that the first time they took this exam they didn't really study, or they did study but they only studied for an hour or two a day before they took the exam. And so seeing that that didn't work for them, now they have the chance to be a little bit more disciplined, apply themselves, and study a little bit more. Yeah, there's something here about like spreading it out evenly, right? Like, for example, if you have a week to study, or if you have a week to complete something, making sure that you're doing a little bit of work, a little bit of studying, getting a little bit of studying done each day throughout that week, right? Evening it out. At least that's kind of the advice here, the suggestion. But you know yourself better than me, a stranger on the internet, knows you. So if you know there is something that works for you, like for some people, cramming works for them. So if that works for you, then you can definitely take that route. But if you know there is something that you would benefit more from doing, maybe giving yourself an hour to cram instead of just like 5 minutes, let's say, then apply that, do that this month, because by you doing that, by you maybe getting a little bit more organized, being a little bit more disciplined, giving yourself a little bit more time, you will end up getting the results that you want, or things will end up working a lot better for you. There's also something about scheduling. Yeah, making sure that we have the extra Joker card, making sure that you're distributing, again, things evenly throughout the month. So just if you are someone who does schedule things in, if you have a planner, just make sure to go back to your planner and like double check that you are not booking everything on the same week, especially if you don't have to, or that you haven't booked 2 or more things on the same day around the same time. And again, I keep repeating this, but there's something about giving yourself enough time. This is making me think of when someone books several events, several appointments back to back to back, right? And that can end up being pretty tiring, tedious, or messy. So if you don't have to do that, if it's not necessary, maybe avoid doing that this month. Again, this is just a suggestion, right? Because I am seeing with, especially with the sixth house, which is the house of health, there being something about making sure this month that you're giving yourself enough time, not only to attend to your responsibilities, right, but also to rest and take care of yourself and take care of your basic needs, like giving yourself enough time to go to the restroom, right? Yeah, with balance is making me think also of a work-life balance. So it's important to maintain a nice balance this month in order for things to not end up feeling so chaotic, or for them to not end up being so chaotic and overwhelming. Yeah, because with caution, I feel like this is a month in which you might find yourself pretty busy, or things could end up getting hectic. That is if order isn't maintained or order is not a priority this month. So that's why you're being given a heads up to give priority to organization. If you don't have a planner, maybe consider getting a planner. If it's not a physical planner, maybe on an app, just to keep organized and remind yourself like, oh, okay, this is what's coming up. These are my appointments and so and so. Or this is how much I have. Now I thought of an inventory. Some of you could be taking inventory this month. You could be preparing for a big sale. Maybe some of you are entrepreneurs, salespeople, and you are indeed preparing for a big sale this month. Yeah, and so you could be taking time to like organize. All of a sudden, I thought of Ember in the movie Elemental. What was it called? Red Dot Day, when she's getting ready for the big sale at her father's store. Yeah, but we have the extra joker, which is my fast pass card. That's how I interpret it. Yeah, so fast pass makes me think of kind of cutting in front of a line, or getting quick access to something. Yeah, so if you are in line for a product, or you are waiting to purchase a ticket or get a spot for something, and you're worried about whether you will get the ticket, get a spot, get a hold of a product, or maybe of a deal, know that you will. You will end up getting a hold of this, getting a spot, or getting the deal, the promotion, enrolling in the class or course if that applies to you, or getting the opportunity to meet up with someone, to have maybe a one-on-one with someone, like a session. Yeah, I feel like some of you this month could be worried that your schedule might conflict with that of another, and you might, and because of that, you will not get an opportunity to see them, meet up with them, have a one-on-one with them, get counseling from them as well. And if that is the case, know that an opportunity will present itself to you this month, where you will be able to meet up with this person. Like, there will be a window of time, right? Because again, there's something here about time sensitivity, a specificity to the amount of time or the when. But there will be a window of time. There will be an opportunity. Balance makes me think of finally two people's schedule coinciding or agreeing with each other. You could also be agreeing this month with someone on a time to meet up, right? And this would be someone who you've been going back and forth with for a while on when to meet up, because you can never agree on a time or maybe a place. Where's the other? Oh, all of a sudden, what? I looked over at the decks that I'm working with, and I couldn't find some of the decks that I was working with. They seem to have disappeared, but they were hiding. I found them. The other thing I'm seeing here is, I think I already mentioned this, there will be quite a few people requesting of your time this month. I'm seeing like people rushing to you. there's this feeling of like an overload. This could also be referring to like messages, emails, texts. You might be receiving an influx of that out of what might seem like out of nowhere or unexpectedly at some point this month. It also made me think of an influx of orders, requests. Yeah, so there's something here about you getting more than you normally do. But with balanced here, I do feel like things will end up balancing out at some point. You know, there's 30 days in April, so the energy will shift and it will fluctuate throughout the month. So some of the things I'm explaining here might happen or might be very prevalent at the start of the month, maybe at the end of the month, and other messages or energies will come into play at a different point in the month. So yeah, there could be a point where things might get pretty busy or you might find yourself being pretty occupied, but then I do feel like things will end up balancing out, especially as mentioned before, if you maybe take it upon yourself to get organized, to set a schedule. Or what I'm hearing it also is take care of things as they come, as they happen, instead of like leaving them all, attend to them all at the last minute. What I saw in my mind's eye was like a corner, you know, the designated corner or the designated chair or like the designated drawer in which people throw all the miscellaneous onto it, like the dirty laundry, the coats, the spare parts. And it's kind of forgotten until it's becomes super messy or an eyesore, and then you just have to deal with it. And then it could take like a whole afternoon to get all that stuff put away and organized, and that corner, that seat, that drawer cleaned up. So yeah, you could either do that, or what you're being advised is to take it as it comes, right? Instead of just throwing the coat on the chair, hanging it up the moment that you take it off, right? So that then you don't have to deal with it later. Yeah, so there could be a little bit of maybe cleaning this month, maybe spring cleaning if you are experiencing spring this month of April, wherever you will be located. Or you could be decluttering. Some of you could be going through your email inboxes, draft folder, and cleaning that up. Ooh, this card fell out for, was it group 2? I believe it was group 2. And we have number 37 with one horse town. And the message: boredom, monotony, small-mindedness, branch out and move on. Novelty need. I read the message on this card and I chuckled because it almost felt like you guys were telling me, okay, we get it, Kim. Organization, order, move on. I'm getting pretty bored with these messages. Okay. Gotcha. So with one horse town, I mentioned at the beginning how there could be a bit of a widening your horizons, maybe branching out this month. And yeah, I do see that being the case and being confirmed with this one horse town card. So you might end up feeling a bit ambitious at some point this month. You could end up wanting to take on either multiple projects, or you could end up wanting to overtake or take on several tasks. Like maybe this is the month in which all of a sudden you're feeling inspired to clean out the closet and also organize the pantry and do everything that's been on your to-do list that you've been postponing for a later time, or catch up on all the homework that you've been setting aside for later. This is the month in which you might be deciding to take on a DIY project or multiple DIY projects while you're also still in the process of completing a previous DIY project. And you know, with the balance card, it's beautiful that you're motivated and that you're inspired to do all these things. I don't want to deter you from pursuing all of these different things. All I do suggest, or what is being suggested with these cards, is again to give yourself, you can start one project this month of April, and once you complete it, you can move on to the next project. You don't have to do it all today or in the next 3 days, 6 days, week, or in the month of April. Right? And the reason why some of you might be all of a sudden feeling this desire to take on like projects, or you could find yourself being pulled in different directions because you're wanting to be here doing this, but also at the same time you're wanting to be over there doing that, and so forth, could be because it's your way, like your mind's, maybe brain's way of dealing with boredom. So maybe you have been feeling a bit bored or uninspired, or maybe there is something that you are trying to distract yourself from. And the way you're dealing with this boredom, the way that you are distracting yourself is through you taking on these multiple projects or trying to take on these several different tasks. But it could, what I'm also seeing is, if you find yourself moving from one thing to the other very quickly, it could be because you are maybe booked, right? And so you're trying to complete many different things at the same time, or you're feeling a bit pressured by time, and so you're moving from one thing to the other. But what I'm also seeing is this could be a situation where, let's say you're feeling very excited about taking on a task, but then when you start working on that task, you find that it isn't very stimulating to you, and that's when you immediately look for something else, right? And don't end up completing that task because now your focus has been directed somewhere else. Now you're wanting to look for stimulation somewhere else. Yeah, so if you find yourself not completing things or kind of just leaving them to the side, it could be because they're not stimulating you, they're not engaging you. Yeah, and that's okay. It's okay to acknowledge that, right? Because oftentimes we feel pressure to push through in order to complete things, do things, and forcing ourselves to like stick around and do the thing could just end up resulting with us not having a good time and feeling burned out at the end and even more uninspired. So if you find yourself forcing yourself to do something that you don't have to do, it's like it's not a responsibility, it's not an obligation, it's not a priority, then it's okay for you to move on to something else. You don't have to do it, especially if you see that it isn't helping you in any way by you forcing yourself to continue with it. Um, deadlines. If there are any deadlines this month, it's very likely that extensions will be given to these deadlines. Or if you are intending, or at any point you think about asking for an extension, you will be getting it if you do request it. Yeah, someone might actually be asking for more time on something. Or if this month someone is taking their time to deliver something to you or to get back to you, it's not because they're lagging it. I think it's rather because either they're very busy or they are taking their time with this out of consideration for the thing. Like, it's making me think of the Knight of Pentacles energy. The Knight of Pentacles doesn't rush. They take their time with their work because they want to deliver something of high quality. So that's what I'm sensing here. Like, if someone is taking their time, if someone isn't rushing, it's most likely because they are prioritizing quality. Yeah, but at the end of the day, whatever was promised to you will be delivered to you. I heard checks and balances. Some of you could be doing a bit of like financial management this month. I'm not sure if it's tax season wherever you are located, but yeah, you could be doing your taxes or working with or meeting up with a financial advisor, an accountant. With caution here, this month you might want to not overspend or just be mindful of your spending habits. Although I feel like a lot of you are quite money savvy, you with Virgo here, you could be very financially responsible or a bit frugal. You like to budget, you like to save. Um, yeah, and if that is the case, as mentioned before, I do see you finding really good deals or getting really good deals this month. What I heard is the expression that was a steal. As in, like, that was, you got something for a really good price, like that was a steal. I think that's the expression. Yeah, so I see you feeling very quite proud of an investment that you have made. Yeah, but overall, I do feel like this month you are being financially responsible, or more financially responsible. But regardless, I feel like that is the advice overall for this month: financial responsibility. But we also have waxing gibbous with redirection, adjustment, and flexibility, and then we have sun with masculine energy, father, ego, identity, vitality, and self-expression. Yeah, so with this sun here, at some point you could be feeling a bit renewed if you have been feeling low on energy, or you could be feeling high on energy. um, and that could be when you might find yourself wanting to take on multiple projects, or feeling capable, very capable of taking on more. And although I do see you being very capable of doing so, uh, again, there's just that heads up of be level headed, be reasonable, don't overdo it. There's no need to overextend yourself, especially if you don't have to. Be thoughtful and mindful of your needs as well. Okay? But yeah, I do feel like this month you may be taking on a little more than you have in the previous months, or at some point this month you may be taking on a little bit more, or as mentioned already, finding yourself quite busy. But I do feel like at some point during this month of April, things will level out, things will calm down, or you will find a nice rhythm, a nice pace that works for you, that isn't too demanding, or that doesn't leave you feeling burned out at the end of the day, at the end of the week. Yeah, because there is, I think, a caution here kind of a possible burnout. But with redirection, adjustment, and flexibility, it kind of makes me think of a schedule, an agenda, a calendar. So I feel like the advice is for you to have like a flexible schedule, right? For you to give, that's why I kept talking about ample amount of time. Like, give yourself spaces, right? Spaces for the unexpected, spaces to book in maybe a last minute appointment, or to move things around, or right, to attend to your basic needs, to give yourself free time for whatever it is that you want to focus on or do. But with adjustment here, you will be making adjustments to your schedule. There will be some reorganizing, and this might not only be in regards to your schedule, but also maybe to a system, maybe a routine, because you might find yourself needing to do so. Like, it might be necessary for you to make these adjustments. With redirection, there could be a redirecting, or like a revision of a plan. So what you're being advised is to allow yourself flexibility this month, and not only like in terms of your schedule, your agenda, but also mental flexibility, right? Understanding that, we can plan, we can pre-plan, but there's always the unexpected. And when planning, we have to, in a way, account for and keep in mind the unexpected. And that's just being aware that things might not go through as planned. But if they don't, that's okay. It doesn't mean that we failed, or doesn't mean that something is not going to work out. It just means that we're now integrating something new. We're now working our way around something that wasn't in the plans. I'm being reminded of Bob Ross. His famous quote, "We don't make mistakes, just happy little accidents." You know, when he was working on a painting, if like some paint dripped on the canvas, he wouldn't get upset or mad. Instead, he would see that as an opportunity and work around that, right? Or work with that and create something as beautiful, maybe even more majestic than what he had envisioned. Yeah, be open to adjustments this month. And this is reminding me of when I went to get a haircut and the hairdresser recommended a style for me, and I said, "Yeah, go ahead. Let's try it." And when she finished, I looked at myself in the mirror, and I did not like the hairstyle at all. But then after some time, I started digging the haircut, and I saw the vision. I saw my hairdresser's vision, and I realized the reason I was so shocked at first was not because I didn't like the haircut. It was more because it was a completely new haircut. It was very different from what I was used to and familiar with. And so it was taking me, my eyes, my mind a little to adjust to this new look. But once I did, I didn't hate it, nor did I dislike it. I ended up really liking it. And now it's the haircut that I'm going for. Yeah, so with adjustment here, there could be an adjustment period this month. This long explanation, this long example for me, just to tell you guys that there might be an adjustment period this month, or there might be something that at first you might think, it's not going to work out, or you might not like, or you might be a bit upset about because it's not what you envisioned, it's not exactly what you asked for, or you had planned for or expected. But I feel Spirit is with caution here. It's like they're giving you a heads up, like we know that this is how you're going to react, or we know that this is how you might react, but we want to also let you know that we've seen a little more into the future, and we also know that you will end up loving this. You will end up liking this if you just give yourself some time to adjust to it. Like let your eyes adjust to the light or the lighting. Once you do, you will be able to see clearly, and what you will see or what you will find will be to your liking, or will be very suitable, or will suit you, or suit a situation. So yeah, just keep an open mind, I feel, is the message for you guys, which is a very interesting message to come through, especially because we have Virgo here, because Virgo can be very meticulous, right? Virgo has everything down to a T, so they know what they want. Yeah, and so this is no disrespect to your vision. It's amazing that you know what you want, if that is the case. It's just that for this month, you're being presented with options, or with an option that you might not have seen, that you might not have planned for, but if you give it a chance, you will end up loving it. It might end up even becoming one of your favorite things, or something that in the future you will definitely want to include in your plans, or will end up including in your plans. Okay, but now I'm going to work with El Tarot to find out two things. First, we're going to look at something to look out for this month, and then we will look at something you can look forward to this month of April. So something to look out for. Let me shuffle one more time. Double check emails this month, especially if you're sending out emails. Just look over them, make sure that everything you wanted to say is in the email, or that things are spelled correctly. And just double check your like spam folder, your drafts as well, to make sure that no emails have ended up there in the spam folder that are important, or that you're like maybe waiting for to receive. Okay, but we have the Two of Wands for something to look out for. Interesting, because the Two of Wands is a card that indicates planning. So, okay, you could be planning for the long-term future, or you could feel called to do so, or this is the month in which you might end up setting appointments, quite a few appointments actually, that are for later in the year, 3-4 months from now. Yeah, and again, with that, there's just a heads up that we cannot account for what is going to happen from here till then. So although we might plan like, oh, on this month or 3 months from now, I'm going to be there doing that, we must also keep in mind that plans might change. Just something to keep in mind. It's sort of as if you're being advised. It's okay for you to plan for the future. It's okay for you to think ahead, but do so with a little bit of like flexibility. This makes me think of how when one goes to the dentist and then they set up another appointment for you, they usually ask you if you will be available the Wednesday 3 months from now, as if they expect you to know what you will be doing on that day or that week or that month. But I guess that's the point of setting up appointments, right? You set up an appointment so that then you will make sure to not schedule anything else on that day that you set up that appointment. Oh, okay. So if you were awaiting an appointment that was scheduled this month, and it's an appointment that you scheduled like 3 months ago, and you waited 3 months for this day on the month of April. Yeah, there's this feeling with the Two of Wands of you kind of either anxiously awaiting this day or kind of a little anxiously or nervously hoping that it won't get postponed or it won't get pushed back or canceled. Yeah, because with hope, now that I see hope in the Two of Wands side by side, it makes me think of someone kind of like hoping and praying or just wishing that they don't have to deal with this later, that they could just get it out of the way this month, or that it can happen this month so that they don't have to continue waiting for it. And what's the result of this? Well, the Two of Wands fell out in the upright. So we have the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, okay, so with the Knight of Pentacles in the reversal, I will say there might actually be some delays. There could end up being a rescheduling of this event, this appointment. It's a very specific appointment, right? So if this is not resonating with you, if you can't think of like an appointment or an event that you scheduled a while back or that you like are hoping to get out of the way this month, then this message might not be for you, because I do see this being very specific. And I do see either a delay. I'm hearing with the Knight of Pentacles possible tardiness, like either you not being able to make it or someone not being able to make it on time. Yeah, so if this is something that you have to commute to, or that again it's time sensitive, you have to be there at a certain time, again, give yourself ample amount of time. If you're commuting to this, take into account possible traffic. Yeah, there's something here about not simply hoping to make it, but also kind of getting out of your way to make sure that you do make it on time by giving yourself like enough time, right? Just keep that in mind this month. But this is also making me think of what I mentioned before, that something might be taking a little bit longer, or someone might be taking a little bit longer with something. They might be asking for a little bit more time. They are taking a while to get back to you or to deliver something to you. But let's see. Sorry, but now let me pull out a card to find out what is something you can look forward to this month. And we have the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles, like the Knight of Pentacles, is an earth sign. Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. So you could be dealing with an earth, sun, moon, or rising sign person. But the King of Pentacles is known to be very responsible, self-sufficient, I will say, and dependable. The King of Pentacles is someone who is financially well off, financially secure, and who offers or does provide security. So, yeah, either you are this King of Pentacles, and you are doing financially well this month. You are being financially responsible. You are making good investments as well. I do sense that this month, any investments that you make, you will get a return out of them. Any investments that you make with caution, with thoughtfulness, right? With level-headedness, as in they're not rash, right? You're not spending money just to spend it or investing money in things that you haven't even maybe looked into, researched, or done a pros and cons list for it. Then these investments will be giving back to you. And as mentioned before, I do see you being very proud of a purchase that you made on a sale or with a promotion or with some kind of deal. Yeah, and if you recently made a big purchase, this month you're feeling quite pleased with this because it is proving to have been a good purchase. You could be paying something in installments, or maybe you're being advised to do so this month. Pay something in installments, especially if it's something really expensive or pricey and you're not receiving it right away. If you can ask to pay for installments, consider doing so. Yeah, and making sure that you received what you requested first before paying in full or making the last payment. But what else I'm seeing is if there's anything that you needed to pay off, you will be paying it off this month. Yeah, with balance, you could be paying off a debt or getting close to paying off a debt this month, or I heard getting even with someone. So maybe you owed someone money and you're paying them back this month, and that's how you're getting even. Or if someone owed you money, they're paying you back. Also, if there's like a shared expense, like you're expecting to receive money from someone, their portion of it, you will be receiving it at some point this month. They will be pulling through, they will be coming through, is what I heard. The King of Pentacles definitely keeps their promises, especially when the King of Pentacles is in the upright. So if someone said that they would show up with a payment, they will be showing up with this payment, or with whatever was promised, whether it be a service, whether it be like maybe a product or a finished project, a completed task. They will be pulling through. If you have been budgeting and or saving, or you have been managing your finances, this month you're going to feel very glad that you have been doing so and very proud of yourself as well. After an unexpected expense comes up and you have the money to pay for it without problem. Yeah, so in other words, if you haven't been saving or setting some money aside for like unexpected expenses, do consider doing so this month, because I do see you needing to pay out of your pocket for something unexpected. If you do offer services, if you like have a business, you may be contacted by someone who is quite influential, like someone who could end up being a potential sponsor, or who could end up investing a lot in your business. So like for some, this could be like a returning customer, right? So maybe with the Knight of Pentacles showing up here in caution, what the heads up for some of you guys this month is to be this is a silly way to put it, but like to be on it. Don't rush with your projects. maybe that's the reason why it was being suggested time and time again to give yourself enough time, because you want to make sure that you are offering something of quality, or that's something that you're being advised to prioritize this month. Because this is the month in which you will be reached out by people who could end up becoming part of your clientele, or who could end up forming your clientele, or end up becoming returning customers, or potential sponsors, investors, or possibly even employers or business partners or collaborators. Right? So someone who might be requesting of your service, they could end up really loving your service, and then because we have these grapes here, it makes me think of the grapevine. They could end up recommending you to other customers, other clients, and helping you in that way, helping to get your name out there. Yeah, if this is an influential figure, they could be giving you a shout out, right? And then giving you positive exposure. So yeah, so if you are dedicated to your work, if you're quite proud of your work, then keep doing as you're doing. And it's very likely that this month your hard work, your work ethic, the quality of your work, of your services is going to stand out to somebody. It's going to be recognized by one or more people. I see some of you celebrating a victory, celebrating maybe a good business month, maybe, or the arrival of a paycheck, maybe even a promotion. For some of you, your salary could be increased this month, or you may be receiving news that it will, or you could be getting like a bonus or an extra something. And to celebrate this, you could be treating yourself to something nice, and not only yourself but also your loved ones, your friends, those who you love to celebrate with or share your good news with. But I also see a case in which someone who is doing well financially will be treating you and friends, you and loved ones, or simply you out to a nice dinner, or just treating you, inviting you to something nice. More than once, actually. Okay, but let me see what else. Yeah, but I do see business doing well. Business booming at some point this month. And you are definitely feeling a lot more financially secure. Or you're doing financially better this month of April. Yeah, again, things are balancing out when it comes to your account. So you have enough money, enough money in the bank, you have enough money to pay your bills, to pay for your expenses, and to treat yourself. And also maybe enough money to invest in your business, possibly. Some of you could be doing that, actually. If you have been saving up money to invest in something, you would have, by this month, I feel like you would have saved up the amount of money you wanted, or you were aiming to save up. But let's see, we have Driftwood with go with the flow, trust where the universe is taking you. And we also have Starfish with trust your instincts and follow your intuition. Yeah, so trust your instincts, follow your intuition this month, especially when it comes to investments. If something feels shady, if something feels off, even if it looks really good on paper, trusting your instincts. Go with what your gut is telling you. And, trust where the universe is taking you is making me think of flexibility and allowing yourself to adjust and to redirect at times. Let me pull out one more Oracle card, and we have freedom with Sagittarius, Spirit, and the key phrase, releasing a bird to fly free, and the message, a wild bird soars on the air, limited only by its wingspan and the weather. Do you need to find bigger adventures or a new life philosophy? Are there limitations on your freedom that need to be acknowledged? When I saw the word freedom, I thought of financial independence, financial freedom. So that could be something some of you are experiencing for the first time, or for the first time in a long while this month of April. Or that could be what you're aiming for. And if so, you're being let know that you are working your way towards that. And you are making progress towards that. But releasing a bird to fly free. Again, this makes me think of expansion, possibly branching out. Some of you could be doing just that. Maybe you are making some kind of renovations. I thought of expanding like a physical location, or maybe adding a new product line, launching a new product, or some of you could be applying for new jobs, more jobs, other jobs, or maybe a job that allows you more freedom, that allows a more flexible schedule. Or maybe that's something you've been working towards to in your current workplace, profession. And again, if that is the case, I feel like you are working towards that. And it's for some of you, if you have been working towards that, it's in this month that you are achieving that, right? And maybe that's why there was a lot of advice of like, getting organized and kind of learning how to manage your schedule, because now you can do that. Now you can manage your own schedule. Now you can set your own work hours, right? And so you're learning how to adjust to that kind of freedom, and also learning how to like set your limits and set your boundaries, and realizing that those limits are important. And because when you are self-employed, you could start working and stop working whenever you want. And so sometimes, because we have the freedom to choose when we stop working, we can tend to overwork ourselves. So yeah, some of you could be addressing that if you find you have been overworking yourself. Setting some boundaries with yourself as your own employer, possibly. Yeah, but some of you could be discovering that what you want is a more flexible schedule. Others of you could be finding out that you much prefer to have like a predetermined schedule. You prefer the 8 to 5, right? There's no right or wrong. It's just what works for you. There's a lot of people that go from being self-employed to working a part-time or full-time job somewhere, and finding that they much prefer working a part-time job, being employed, than being self-employed or being a freelancer. So it's whatever works for you, or like a more balanced routine, more balanced schedule. Yeah, with the freedom card, some of you may definitely be deciding to set something aside, set it for a later time, or possibly even dropping it completely. If you do come to the decision that this is something that you absolutely do not want to continue dealing with or moving forward with, or you have decided that this is something you no longer see yourself doing in the future, nor do you want to continue developing in the future. Yeah, so with freedom, you may be freeing yourself of something that was weighing you down or depleting you of your energy and of your time, possibly even of your resources. Okay, but things I want to point out before I end your reading, as mentioned, black feather birds could be of significance, crows, ravens, starfish, the shape of a star, star-shaped things, the year of the horse, the year of the ox could be of significance. Also, I see a power couple dynamic. If you are in a healthy, committed relationship, you and your partner will be thriving or doing quite well this month, or you and your partner might find yourselves being pretty busy. Yeah, you could have conflicting schedules at times. Like when you're busy, they're busy as well. But I also see a situation where it works out for you, because when you're free, they're free. When you're busy, they're busy, but when you're free, they're free. Or when they decide to study, you're deciding to study as well, and so you can decide to study together. So if there's conflicting schedule between you and a loved one, between you and a spouse or a counterpart or partner, they're saying don't worry about that, because at some point in the month you will have time to be together, to meet up, or your schedules will align so that you can spend more quality time together or work together. But some of you could actually be in a business partnership with your significant other, and if so, again, your business is thriving. You guys are doing well, and you're learning how to work together, how to work as a team, how to work as a partnership. You're discovering what each other's strengths are, and working with those strengths. And this might apply to just business partnerships or collaborations in general. It doesn't have to be specifically between spouses. Okay, but these are all the messages coming through for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. And if you're new to this channel and you wish to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. To all of you who took the time to watch the advertisements or just let them play in the background, thank you so much for that, since that is the simplest way to support me and to support this growing channel. So if you did, I truly do appreciate it. And before I sign off, I want to give a thanks to my spirit team and your spirit guides for assisting me with delivering these messages to you. Thank you so very much. And I'm wishing you and your loved ones a wonderful month of April. And until the next moment, bye bye.